Welcome to the Merlin Crypto Market Update located on the X app. I'm Abs, the host and senior engagement officer at Merlin, and today's episode features a replay from our Merlin X Spaces. Every other Tuesday at 8:30 p.m., you can catch us live on the X app at Get Merlin Crypto. We dive into captivating discussions about cryptocurrency and blockchain technology with our engaged audience, special guests, and the founders of Merlin. Please note, these spaces can sometimes experience technical hiccups and end suddenly. It's all part of the experience. Thanks for tuning into the Crypto Market Update, proudly brought to you by Merlin, the smartest way to track your crypto.
Welcome to another Merlin Spaces right here on the X app. Today is a very special episode because it is our Merlin launch episode. That is correct. Merlin, the smartest way to track your crypto, is live. So head on over to merlincrypto.com after this X Spaces and get your 30-day free trial available right now. I'm going to be your moderator this evening. My name is Jeremy Quintanilla. I'm the Chief Finance and Operations Officer for Merlin and one of the co-founders. You may find me on all social media platforms at Age of Jeremy. Your host this evening will be Abs, Merlin Senior Engagement Officer, and also the host of the amazing Good Morning Crypto Show that stars amazing people like the Node Defender, Gonzo, Jenna, and so many, many more that hang out with Abs on Good Morning Crypto, 11 a.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday. From the 3T Warrior Academy YouTube page, you can follow again Abs right here on X at 3TGM Crypto. Please follow Merlin here on the X app. You can also follow us on LinkedIn at Get Merlin Crypto. Please also follow Merlin on Instagram and Threads at Merlin Crypto. Once we reach 300 threaders and we are on our way there, we will be randomly selecting one lucky threader to win a 90-day trial of Merlin as well. Again, that's the smartest way to track your crypto. Merlin is open to the public right now, as I had just mentioned. So make sure that once you are done with this X Spaces, head on over there and get your 30-day free trial. And also here on X Spaces, we enjoy debate, but please keep it family friendly and please be respectful. We want these to be an inclusive atmosphere, not an exclusive atmosphere. The views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent. And with that being said, Abs, take it away.
What's going on, everybody? This is super exciting. Shout out to my man, Johnny Crypto. First of all, congratulations to everybody on the Merlin team. It's been almost 2 years in the making. 36,000 lines of code were put in there. So congratulations to everybody. I think it's only fitting we start there. I'd love to go around for some introductions. So Jenna, Johnny, Gonzo, how's everybody doing tonight? We'll start with Jenna.
Thanks, Ab. I'm doing fabulous. And I just want to give a huge congratulations to Johnny, Jeremy, and the team. It's so exciting that it's finally here. We've been waiting so patiently. And, I know we've been testing this out behind the scenes. So it's just so awesome. And I absolutely love this tool. I'm so passionate about it. And doing great. Even better now. So super excited.
So Jenna, we got some good news tonight as well, because I was looking at the Sam Bankman-Fried stuff. Sam Bankman-Fried was getting ready to run for president in 2024. So
shut up, Abs. You are full of it. Isn't there
anything is possible in America, as they say.
Oh my God.
Too funny. But Gonzo, I see you're up here as well. But Johnny, how you feeling tonight, man?
I'm feeling good, man. Just feeling very blessed. It's a special day. I know we've all been working really hard on Merlin on different aspects of it. And so, dude, when you put your mind to stuff and you bring people together, we're proof that anything is possible. So super excited.
And Mr. Johnny Crypto, I started off by saying congratulations. So I know you're feeling great tonight. It's been a long couple of years for you when it comes to the Merlin, building the foundation, creating the company from scratch. So congrats. How you feeling? What's on your mind?
Well, Abs, thank you, everybody. Actually, I'm feeling very, very tired, as you can all imagine. But I am super excited. It's been a 2-year journey with everybody on this team who made it, are just amazing to be able to get something like this accomplished. So I'm super, super excited to be able to say, Merlin is live, baby. Let's go. We finally got it up and running. We got it in the hands of the people. Now people can finally start to put themselves, I think, in a much better position to protect their potentially generational wealth that they can create in this marketplace. So I'm really super excited. But I don't want to sit here and say a thank you to everybody because I'm going to miss names, so I'm not going to name anybody. You all know who you are, who worked on the project. So I just want to say thank you to everybody because we couldn't have done it without the many, many when you're building 36,000 lines of code, that's just one part of it, and that's the technical side. But then there's a whole marketing piece and all the other things that go along with building a business, a big team there and a customer support team, and everybody's been wonderful in helping to build this thing together. And then there's our friends and our partners and our family members like Jenna and Tony and Kevin. So we want to thank all of you for all helping to make Merlin something to be able, exciting that we can get out there in the hands of the people. Really, really excited about it, Abs, and thank you everybody again. I can't say it
Johnny,
enough.
before we get into the content for tonight, now we can talk about some of the partnerships. You announced Kevin Cage, which is really exciting, and we're not going to go much further beyond that. But it's been hard keeping my mouth shut, knowing what's going on behind the scenes and what's in the works. It's really exciting. So I don't know if there's anything else you care, or just a congratulations to Kevin or whatever's on your mind.
Well, so right now, the relationships we're building we have a few, and we're really excited about them. And Kevin is one of them. Jenna is also one of them. So Jenna's been out there talking about Merlin, and so we're excited to have her on board, and Tony as well, and Darcy. So those four are out there, and they're working with us, and we're really super excited that they've tried the product. They felt they liked it, and well, crap, I'll let Jenna tell you what she thinks about it. But yeah, we are super excited to have partners like them on board, and we'll be announcing more over time.
Thank you, Johnny. And sorry, I was just DMing Tony Ed. We're trying to get him here right now. But Jenna, before we get into some of the topics that I have for tonight, we're going to talk about Sam Bankman-Fried, because Caroline Ellison said a couple of really, really important things on the stand tonight. And number one, I made a joke about Sam Bankman-Fried had plans to run for president in 2024. So I don't even know if that's, I think he's too young to even be a candidate, but that's the title that I was reading in the article. So what do you take away from this whole debacle, Sam Bankman-Fried and Caroline Ellison actually being in court and testifying against one another?
Oh my gosh, you know what? I'm so sad that I didn't read yet like everything that happened. So I know that you're gonna fill me in and this is great, but I'm still in disbelief. And that's why it makes a lot of sense now why they're putting out so much money to all these political parties and everything like that. But I thought he was too young as well, because but he's like 30. I thought he's like 33 right now, and I think the age is like 35. I don't know. But I'm so glad he's gonna be hopefully locked up and never ever have that chance. I cannot even imagine the world we would live in if he was president of the United States. That's a really terrifying thought, honestly.
And the numbers are pretty shocking too. When you look at what they set up with Alameda and FTX, I'm reading it right now. Alameda took roughly $14 billion worth of user funds from FTX. And apparently, Sam knew exactly what he was doing, at least according to Caroline Ellison. She said Alameda took several billions of dollars from FTX customers and used it for private investments. This meant balance sheets for Alameda, but also personal expenses for several of the lead employees at FTX. So this is interesting. They're going to use this as an excuse to become anti-crypto. I think that's for sure.
Oh, 100%. And did you see the thread where they were like all on Signal in their group chat, and they were all trying to figure out, the 9 of them that live together. They were like, so who's going to pay for this penthouse? Some of them were like, we can't afford that, or it's a little bit outside of my budget. BF was just like, oh, I thought Alameda was just going to cover it. So I was like, oh, okay, that's why they're all living together.
Johnny, something else that's pretty funny that's going on right now is the whole Ripple narrative is shifting. We saw transactions for the first time ever between R3. R3 was working with the Swiss central bank and actually tested Ripple on a public ledger. And people saw those transactions within the code, and I reposted that on my Twitter. Maybe I can pin it to the profile. What are your thoughts on everything happening with XRP? You think people are getting overly bullish? We've been super optimistic these last couple of episodes. So I don't know if you want to provide some dose of reality or what.
Yep, that's what I like to do. The reality king. So the reality is the pendulum always swings in either direction too far. And so, you had when the court case was on, the pendulum was all the way to the other side, and everybody was down on XRP and Ripple. Now the case is won, and the pendulum is swinging. Everyone, you saw the fake article week that Chase was accepting XRP for mortgage payments. So, it's just, you just gotta you got to take all this stuff with a grain of salt. You got to take a deep breath, slow down, let things work out. You just have to know you either invested in something good and you're going to be patient. You're going to let it work its way through, and you're going to know in the long run that it's going to be here and it's going to do some good things and it's going to win. Or or you just could get caught up in all this nonsense that goes back and forth, and you're just going to have your head spinning around, wondering what the hell's going on. I have enough going on where I have no desire of getting my head spun any more than I need to. So, I kind of take all this stuff with a grain of salt, Abs. I don't get too excited in either direction until I 100% know for sure that, A, it's true whenever something's announced, and B, it's with some partner that's really significant. So those are the two things I look for when you're starting to hear all this news coming out. I mean, you're going to hear a lot of it, over the next 5 to 10 years, especially the next 2 to 3, as we go through the the potential adoption stages. And a lot of it's just going to turn out to be junk.
You know what's interesting is the more educated I become about crypto, the more bullish I am on Bitcoin. I feel like the best thing that could happen to the crypto market right now is a spot Bitcoin ETF. And that's the most mainstream take I could probably have, Johnny, but it's so true. When institutions start buying Bitcoin and holding it, that money's going to go from Bitcoin to Ethereum into a lot of the altcoins. And that doesn't even include utility. So what gets you excited? Let's hear from Jenna and Gonzo as well. Jump in there.
I'm not sure who you're opening that question to, so I'll.
You want me to go?
Yeah, go ahead, guy. I have the answer, but you go first, guys.
Yeah. So, yeah, I agree with you, Abs. Like, unfortunately, people get all upset at us, but XRP will move when Bitcoin moves, right? So when we get all the liquidity that comes into Bitcoin, and then XRP will move. And you know what? Maybe it won't be that way always. Maybe in the next bull run, we see a shift and we finally see XRP do what they've been promising us it will do because the utility kicks in. But until that day happens, Bitcoin's the energy of the market. And as Bitcoin goes, the rest of the market goes.
Johnny, straight to you.
Abs, I'll give you a simple analogy. Here's how I look at it. XRP is a boat. Ethereum is a boat. Cardano is a boat. Bitcoin is the high tide. And man, when that baby comes rolling in, all them boats are going to be lifted. That's just how I read this. I couldn't agree with you more. Bitcoin is the engine that makes all of this work, whether you like it or not. And no, all you right now who are sitting here calling Abs and me and Gonzo Bitcoin maxis. No, you're wrong. I barely even own any Bitcoin, but I know how the system works. And I know what drives money into this. This is just a simple liquidity equation, money in, money out. And the reality is Bitcoin is where it all started. Bitcoin is what drives this whole thing. And Bitcoin is like the carrot on the stick that drives the money and keeps the donkey moving, right? It's going to keep the liquidity coming. And then that's going to be great for the whole entire industry, Abs. And that's why all these people, I laugh when people are like, oh, I want to see this die or that die. No. This is the whole industry as a whole. The better it does as a whole, the better the whole thing will rise. I don't want to see anything bad happen to Bitcoin. You keep seeing Bitcoin at zero. People say, no. That would be horrible. That would destroy the whole entire market. So I couldn't agree with you more. I pray that Bitcoin does well because Bitcoin is the high tide that will break everything up.
Jenna, I want to hear from you as well, but here's what's really cool about what they're doing for Bitcoin in the ETF situation. First time ever, huge institutions like BlackRock, JP Morgan, they're going to go out, buy Bitcoin, hold it, and offer it to investors. So they're going to be making money while sitting on their Bitcoin, similar to how they operated with gold. And I feel like that's why we're seeing people like Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock, call it an international asset and a digital version of gold, because you can do that same function where you sit on the asset and you earn interest by lending it out. So it's a game changer for sure. But what's in your mind?
You know what, Abs? I'm so with Johnny on this. If Bitcoin goes to zero, we are all so screwed. That is something that we do not want to happen at all. And I fully agree that the BTC ETFs will completely be a catalyst. And I've been saying this for a while, but I do believe it's going to kick off next year. I think that, Johnny, I agree with you that this is probably the cheapest we're going to get a lot of prices, the rest of this year. I think starting next year, the market's going to start to recover a lot. So definitely the Bitcoin halving is going to be huge for us. And then the ETFs. And I think after the Bitcoin ETFs, I think then we'll see Ethereum spot ETFs get approved. And I don't look for any XRP ETFs to be approved at all. We're still going through way too much shit right now for any of that to happen. But I think that that's going to be a catalyst. And after ETH moves, then what happens? It's the altcoins. And that's when you want to be ready, because those babies pump hard and they pump fast. And you got to be ready to take those gains like over a month period of time. So just got to get ready.
Jenna, you're spot on. And that's exactly where we can talk about Merlin's exit plan. Getting in, picking your exit targets. And a lot of people don't know what an exit plan is. It's as simple as saying, I'm going to sell my XRP at $10, $20, and $30, and then sticking to it. Hold yourself accountable and taking profits. Because the biggest thing that's going to happen when the prices start to move, the number one narrative is that this is only beginning. Do not buy it, because that is the first thing that's going to come out. I've been through this cycle before. The second prices go up is the minute they tell you where they're going up forever. And that's exactly when you should be taking profits, specifically with XRP. But Johnny, I'm going to kick it to you before we get into our topics. Talk about the exit plan a little bit.
The hardest thing to do in life is to go against what your brain tells you. Yeah, you guys tell me the truth. How hard is it to do the opposite of what you think? I mean, it's almost impossible. And that's why most people lose their money in the marketplace apps because they don't realize that the market is rigged to do exactly the opposite of how you feel if you want to make money. So you just said it. If you remember when Bitcoin was at 3,000, nobody was telling you it was going to 150 and you should get in.
Yep.
Everybody was telling you to get the hell out. This thing is crap. And then when
I don't know what happened. Maybe he hit the mute button.
Yep, looks like we might have lost Johnny. Johnny, are you there, friend?
Gonzo, I'm kicking it to you
He's
until we get Johnny
connected.
back.
Looks like the market is set up to shake people out, and it just shook Johnny right out, huh? Right out of
They
X.
just picked him right out of this.
Right. Yeah, dude. Yeah, exit strategies, like I always tell my story. I think people have heard this already. When we were beta testing Merlin, I was doing some kind of like short trading, and I put in some I got into like Solana at like $12 and $14, and I just kind of set it to like, I think it was 30, not 32. And I'll never forget. And I thought, okay, it's probably going to take like couple weeks to get to there. But I'm also beta testing Merlin. And so then what happened was, literally, it was like a day and a half, 2 days later, I'm on the Zoom call that Jackie and I do the market update, and my phone starts blowing up, and I'm looking, and I'm like, oh shit, it hit 32, or it's going to 32. So it was trying to tell me like, hey, this thing's coming up fast. And so I was able, as soon as I got off the Zoom, I went to my phone. It actually got to 32, and I was able to pull or sell. So I actually got $2 more. But if I wasn't like if I didn't have that exit strategy set up, I would have never gotten that, right? And then a proof of that was, I think it was Render, where I hadn't set up my exit strategy. I think it was Render. I'm trying to think now, but it ripped like 80% in one day, and I missed it because I just, I'm not always on my phone. But that just goes to show, like, the Merlin's going to let you know when your prices come up. All you have to do is have the discipline to go and sell.
Jeremy, I'm kicking it straight to you while we get Johnny connected here.
Yeah, I just wanted to just real quick, Gonzo, if people don't know where you do your technical update calls, what kind of technical updates do you do and where do you do them at?
So for the academy, like part of the Warrior Academy, Jackie and I do kind of like a market update call, and we just go over the charts. So just kind of basic technical analysis, support and resistance, trend lines, and then some Fibonacci, which actually go into play when you're doing your egg strategy. So yeah, like if you want to check it out, definitely join the 3T Warrior Academy.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Gonzo. Back over to you,
guys. Now I want to hear from Mario as well. Mario, we talked a lot about what's keeping us excited for crypto. Everyone was anticipating the end of that lawsuit like it was Christmas Day, and obviously it didn't exceed expectations, but I wouldn't say it was below expectations. We went up about 70% in a 24-hour period, if you think about it, for the individual project. But what
Tabs, I think you broke up a little bit on the end of that question. I know you're kicking it over to Mario, but what was the full question?
Sorry, my mom called me, so that's what happened right there, guys. Mom comes first.
Is she there with you?
But Mario, I asked you, what keeps you excited about the crypto market right now? We talked about XRP, the Bitcoin ETF. Is there anything else that sticks out to you?
Yes, absolutely. Hi, everyone. So tonight I am not Mario. Tonight I am Merlin. I am repping the blue color over here. So hope everybody's doing amazing. But I think there's a lot of stuff, especially in 2024. I actually put out a tweet on my personal account a couple of days ago talking about the number of things that we have happening in 2024 that could be bullish catalysts for the price action, or upward price action. I did a video today for 3T Espanol, and I spoke about the three elements. So obviously we have the Bitcoin ETF. We have the Ripple ruling also in April, and then we have the halving. So these three things alone could set the crypto market in general, because we know that Bitcoin, as Johnny referenced before, it's the high tide. As Bitcoin goes up, it raises all boats, so it raises the rest of the crypto market. And if we start to get bullish news around crypto, which is always what happens in the bull market, so if we get a settlement from SEC and Ripple, that's going to be clarity. It's going to be, well, now Ripple can go on and do its business, and they've got clarity moving forward. Let's not forget as well that we have things like the elections and changes of government, and we're seeing Coinbase also fighting the SEC, and we're seeing Grayscale fighting the SEC. All these things are going to be coming to a close at some point, and I really feel like they could be coming up to a close at a very opportunistic time, at a time where the crypto market starts to move bullish and everyone's sentiment starts to change. So that's why it's going to be so important, so crucial. And I am Merlin, so I have to obviously do a plug on myself that you need to have an exit strategy. You need to be prepared. You need to take those profits. and you need to secure those profits. And it's funny because I actually found out about the XRP ruling as far as it not being a security because of Merlin. I started getting notifications about XRP's price action, and I was like, why is XRP pumping this way? And I went on X and, oh, wow, look, we've got a ruling. So, yeah, I'm super excited about 2024. I know that we've got a lot of stuff going on, and, let's not forget macroeconomic and political stuff. But nonetheless, I think that we're setting up for a very bullish 2024 and 2025.
Jeremy, I do want to hear from you as well. We're going into an election year, but a lot of people are saying it's like a completely different time. If you go to the conspiracy theorists, they're claiming we may not even have an election now. I don't fall in that group, but I'm wondering, is 2024 going to be a typical election year where there's plenty of money flowing around, or do you think we're going to see something different?
So I personally think that we're going to be headed into a more of a world conflict with the current events that have been taking place, or that have been taking place recently. Is what I meant to say. And so I think that whether or not I'm going to say that is a World War III type of thing, that's not what I mean. I just mean that with certain axis and allies starting to form within different groups because of this and the narratives that are being pushed. If you look on social media right now, you're seeing different people take different sides on the certain situation that's taking place with Israel and Palestine. And I'm not promoting either or any of those sides. All that I'm looking at is what's specifically happening and what has happened in the past, and looking at the other conflicts that are going on currently with other countries and and which ones are allying with which ones. And so I've only had one TikTok ever gotten taken down on TikTok, and it was one where I was responding to an economist about how BRICS couldn't become a major currency. And the thing that I was pointing out, whether or not I believe BRICS could be a major currency with the currency that they are or not working on, is that whenever you have a world war or a world conflict and different powers shift, that's usually the catalyst for a change inside of an economic structure, and specifically with currency. So the dollar becoming so powerful, if World War II hadn't happened, the dollar wouldn't have become specifically what it is. And so when we're looking at what is currently happening, I can see that this could be a catalyst, whether you want to think that it is by design or not. I have no opinion on that, on that specific topic. But what I can tell you is that with that happening right now and where we're at and going into an election year and where people are going to be pushing, I think that we will actually have more of a push towards a cryptocurrency and blockchain infrastructure. But again, with a harder line on it being managed by the government on the left, and then a harder line on the right saying that it shouldn't be managed by anybody or should be state specific. And that's what I currently think is going to be happening going into 2024.
So let's turn it into a more positive conversation here, Jeremy, because I agree. We're going to see a lot of interesting narratives come out over the next 12 months. And the best thing that we can do is just remain positive and try to not fall for the mainstream narratives, right? The conflict that we're witnessing right now is something that's been talked about for a very long time. And it's been in the works. My family's from Lebanon. I'm very for the conflict. And so I wouldn't anticipate it's over anytime soon. And that's what I'd say. But I don't know if you have an additional comment, but we can move on.
Yeah, just for what you were saying, on ending on a positive note, the most important thing that you can do, especially if you're part of the 3T Warrior Academy or the things that we talk about on our 3T Warrior Academy channel, is that you can affect the things that you have the power to in your control of doing. And so you have to decide where you want your life to go. And no matter what that environment is around you, you can make those assessments and you can move it forward. So whether or not we get CBDCs or we don't get CBDCs, or if a war breaks out or if a war doesn't break out, just focus on moving yourself forward, and the rest of the world will change, because we see the world from our own perspective, and that's the most important perspective that we can have. And so I don't want to end anybody on a down note. I just think that where we're going right now in an economic, it's a cyclical thing in history, and I think that that's where we're going, but you can always end up on the positive by staying positive and moving yourself forward.
Johnny Crypto, I see we got you connected as well. Any thoughts on this, and we can move on?
Yeah, sorry, I was trying to figure out why I got booted from the spaces, so I caught it last.
Because we were talking about war.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna pass. I'm gonna pass on that. But I see we got Tony Edwards in the house. I don't know if we've given him speaking rights, but yeah, if we can, that'd be awesome. I'd love to hear from Tony too.
Well, Johnny, let's move on to something a little bit more positive, because one of the things that we figured out on Good Morning Crypto this week was the Amazon all-time price chart. And maybe it wasn't new to you, but it was definitely new to me. And we found the comparisons between the crypto all-time total market cap chart and what Amazon had been doing in the past. Maybe you can talk about how that's going to apply over the next 10, 15, 20 years If it's 1998, we've been showing the adoption curve every day on the show. If it's 1998 for crypto, we are a long ways away from mass adoption and full stream adoption like we've been talking about. So how far away do you think we are from us having our Amazon moment, if you know what I'm talking about?
Boy, Abs loves to bring back my pain points, loves to remind me of the mistakes I made in 1997. For all those who don't know, I had bought an Amazon in 1997 for like $17, and the thing went up to $27, and if you can get like a $3 move in something, you're happy. When you get a $10 move, you're like, holy cow, this is great. And I sold it on, thinking, oh, this is great, and it turned out that, 20 years later, Amazon goes to 3,300. So this is why I learned you need to have an exit plan. But getting into what you're talking about, Abs, is so important. People don't understand how long it actually takes for something to be an idea, and then for an idea to go into a real business, and then for a business to either stand on its own feet and survive or crash and burn and die. And that there's a lot of phases of what that price chart looks like throughout that phase. And it's kind of hard to do on a Spaces because you can't see the chart, although maybe you can paste it somewhere in here, Abs. I don't know. But when you look at the chart, you kind of see with anything, the most, there's two times really when you can, make a good amount of wealth in something like this. I should say two phases. Phase one is the speculative phase when something's about ready to start. And you'll see that if you look at that chart in 97, 98, it was really low. And then by 2000, when all the speculation was at its peak, the Amazon chart had gone all the way up to about $125. So you could have been buying this thing for like $1. So it was like 100x, 120x gain in there, right? And then what happens is interesting. Once all the speculation money gets pulled out of the market, because everybody knows like, hey, I'm getting out of this thing's sustainable, the price crashes. And guess what? It crashes about 90 to 95%. Well, what other market do we know that happens in? We're all very familiar that happened in crypto too, right? And then you go into this long, solid, sideways consolidation phase until these businesses either make it or they don't. And if they make it and they make it big, then you get this huge exponential curve that you saw happen in Amazon that started around 2010 and took all the way to 2020, 2022 to get to where it got to 3,300, right? That's a very, very long time. That's a 20, 25-year process. And nobody wants to hear that they have to wait that long to get, to really turn it into significant generational wealth. But that's what it takes. And that's why we talk here about having an exit plan where you take some profits along the way, but you don't pull a Johnny Crypto and sell everything in 1997. You hold some of those bags with you 10, 15, 20 years from now, because, boy, it can significantly pay off when you're at the beginning of this kind of market that is a new market and nobody has any clue who the long-term winners and losers are. So your best bet is pack that stable with a bunch of nice-looking horses, set your exit plan on all them horses, and then let it ride.
It's like Gonzo says, Johnny, not how many horses are in the race. It's how many races are in the horse. And that's what's going to matter in the long run, guys. But we got Tony Edward here as well. Tony, obviously we're talking about Amazon and the price charts. I'd actually like to shift to Bankman-Fried if that's okay with you. Caroline Ellison took a stand today, and we got some interesting information that was revealed. You did a great interview with Tiffany Fong earlier this week, so maybe you can just fill us in. What's on your mind when it comes to Sam Bankman-Fried? And thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Can you guys hear me clearly?
Yep, we can hear you.
Oh, perfect. I think Sam Bankman-Fried, he's done, man. With the testimony we saw from Gary Wang and these other guys, and Caroline was the big one today. It's pretty clear and evident that Sam committed big time. There's no question. And one of the takeaways from my interview with Tiffany is that the Sam's attorneys, they don't even know how to cross-examine these witnesses, and it's like they have nothing. Judge is even calling them out, like, "Hey, you're wasting our time with these bullshit questions." And I think they're in a very hard place, because how do you even call out these witnesses? There's nothing to call out. They have been friends for a very long time. SBF has been in a relationship with Caroline, so they've known each other for a long time, and he brought them on board with FTX and went obviously on the wrong path and committed a lot of financial crimes here, and they saw everything. So he's done for.
Yeah, here's the problem, Abs. I'm going to relate this to a mob movie. I'm going to make it very easy for everybody, okay? Gary and what's the name else over there, they know where the bodies are buried. All right, this is a problem. Now in the mob movie, the way you solve that is, you guys see mob movies, right? You whack them, and then they can't talk. Well, that isn't going to happen here. They're going to be singing like canaries, and they are singing like canaries in court. And I agree with Tony. Sam SBF is cooked, man. He's well done. And the only question now, Tony, is I don't know how many years do you think he gets, and where do they lock him up? They're going to put him in a country club, and he's going to be slicing the garlic nice and thin, like in Goodfellas, and cooking the pasta, or is he going to be buried in a federal prison where we're never going to see him again? What do you think?
Yeah, it's a good one. It's hard to tell on what his sentence is going to be. It might be related to the amount of money that was lost. So he could possibly see, I don't know, maybe 20, 30 years, who knows. But with the political connections and all the donations and his parents and the circles they're in and all the things that are going to come out, I think they're going to, probably try to put him away for a long time. Or it could be vice versa. Maybe they go lenient on him for certain reasons because of the political connections, and that he could spill the beans on certain things. It's hard to tell. It's hard to read, the room with that. But my gut is telling me since the beginning that this guy might get off on certain things because of all those campaign donations, his parents' connections, and much more.
Hey, Tony, I like to call those get out of jail free cards. And he definitely bought a bunch of those for sure when he was splashing the cash. So it is going to be interesting to see, do they hold his feet to the fire, or does he get to walk away, with a little slap on the wrist? I think that's time will tell. If I had to guess, I think he'll just get a little slap on the wrist and he'll be out there, maybe he'll be smart and take a low profile. But I'm sure in the meantime, Allison over there, she'll probably get a nice book deal and a movie deal out of this whole thing coming out. What do you think about that?
I mean, Tony, let me get your opinion on this, actually, because we've talked a lot about the political connections. Let's break down the specifics. $40 million donated to political campaigns. That was to the Democrats. But here's what's really interesting. There was a headline maybe 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, where it said Sam Bankman-Fried, it was on a 60 Minutes interview, Sam Bankman-Fried was going to pay Donald Trump $5 billion to not run for U.S. president. The fact that somebody as corrupt, they were calling this man the next JP Morgan, he had his hands in the left, he had his hands in the right. It's shocking that they'll take money from anybody the way they did from Sam Bankman-Fried. So we also had Caroline Ellison today on the stand say Sam Bankman-Fried aspired to become the United States president. And I just double checked. It wasn't in 2024, but he was planning on running. So what do you take away from this? For me, it's shocking. I didn't understand how, I don't want to use the word corrupt, but maybe we'll just say negligent they were when they're accepting money. Maybe you can expand on that, Tony.
Oh, yeah. I mean, look, it's the money machine in D.C. I think there's often the statement that, good men go into government and they become corrupt, or, they kind of lose their morals a bit. And unfortunately, even if you're a good person at heart, you need cash. And as you can see, for examples like Senator Elizabeth Warren, and I'm not saying just Democrats, but Republicans, some of them become very wealthy. And you're like, how did they do that on their salary, which may be $200,000 or something like that? And it's because they get all these backdoor deals and millions of dollars for speeches and endorsements and much more, and the lobbying machine. So I think, personally, I'm hoping, by the time my daughter becomes an adult, that there's some sort of reform where money is, pulled out of politics, especially like corporate money, I should say, or there's more transparency and things are on the blockchain. And hopefully candidates and people can raise money directly from folks, and it's on the blockchain. There's more transparency and accountability. Maybe there's DAOs set up and things like that. That's the future, because this system, as you rightfully said, it's incredible. They'll take money from anybody, and I think that's become the game, right? All of them are controlled by some special interest group.
Jenna, I'd like to hear some of your thoughts as well. What's on your mind?
Oh my gosh, Abs, skip me. I'm sorry. I was working on something.
That's okay. We got the Italian stallion here, and I know he's got an opinion. So, Johnny, give me your thoughts before we move on.
I think at the end of the day, Tony kind of talked about it, nailed it. It's money in, money out. And there's a lot of lobbying money that drives a lot of this, what things that happen. And I hope Tony's right for all our kids' sake, that we do see a little bit of this stuff getting cleaned up, and we do see some more transparency. Maybe the blockchain can help clear, provide some more clarity to that, Abs, because it really is sad, that right now you have a lot of corporate money and PAC money going in, lobbyist money, and they dude, they write the bills. Senators don't even the senators don't even write the bills, and sometimes they don't even read them. So it's really crazy to see how some of the stuff plays out. But I think at the end, bringing it back to crypto here, I think we all kind of have a sense or feel that crypto is going to be here to stay. Abs, it is going to change the way the future works in terms of our monetary system, and also all the companies and how they operate and their background systems. And nobody cares how things work in the background, but us here who are all invested into this stuff, you kind of you're investing early in some of the stuff. You're investing in potentially the rails of the future of the system, and that's a very exciting place and time to be.
That's what's really interesting, Johnny. And we showed a video on Good Morning Crypto today where I believe it was one of the members of the Central Bank of Israel stating that all major currencies are already moving into ISO compliance. And that means instant payments are going to become a global thing. Doesn't matter what the US is doing. Doesn't matter if Gary Gensler views Bitcoin or XRP as a security. Global economies are going digital, and that's what we're seeing right now. So, Tony, is there anything that you'd like to address? I know you had John Deaton on your show earlier this week. Did he expose anything new about the Ripple situation from your perspective?
Sorry, I couldn't get off mute there. I guess that, I think it further just enforces that the SEC is in a losing position, that potentially with all these losses that they're taking and in a court of public opinion, you're losing a lot of trust, and the optics are looking really bad. John was saying, it could essentially, they could be talking settlement right now and trying to abandon the whole trial thing. Obviously, he's not guaranteeing that, and we don't know what's happening, but he's saying his gut feeling is that, with this additional shutdown of the appeal, it could force the SEC to really consider settling and not escalating this further, because they are not looking good right now. And you combine that with Grayscale losing to Grayscale, plus Coinbase is putting up a big fight, and Coinbase has the money and the legal team and the resources. So they're going up against another elephant in the room, similar to Ripple, that has the resources. It's not bullying stoner cats or these small projects, which, they don't have the time or the money to fight back a government agency, but these big companies do. And these are high profile cases. So I think it's the collective, right? You look at all the things that are happening, plus the pressure of the ETFs with the Grayscale loss and much more. So I have to agree with John that, they may not want to take this further.
What's interesting there too is if you're gonna pick a fight, right? Like the SEC, they win. Like Tony said, rather go for stoner cats, they went for some big boys there, and these guys aren't gonna go down without a fight. Ripple is not going down without a fight. Coinbase is absolutely not going down with a fight. Binance isn't going down without a fight. And, they really went after some big boys. So, that's good news, I think, for all of us here in the crypto industry, because we need those guys to win. Ripple needs to win. Binance needs to win. And Coinbase needs to win to be able to give this industry a chance to survive. So I'm actually kind of thankful that they went and they did that. And, the other thing, Abs, I don't know if we've said it, but I want to make sure that people know that these spaces are open, for people to
Johnny, do me a favor. Adjust your microphone just a little bit because we're getting an echo. Continue, though.
Okay, I'm not sure driving that, and I don't know if this is any better. But I'll try to stay still here as I'm talking. But yeah, so I think at the end of the day, I'm saying, so these spaces really, they're made for everybody here. So guys, if you have questions, please feel free to come up. We'd love to answer your questions for you, and just raise your hand and we'll get you the microphone so you can ask questions and comment.
And we do have a request right now, so I'm going to defer to Jeremy about whether we're going to start accepting requests, guys. But if you want to jump into the conversation, just raise your hand, request to speak. We'll bring you guys up and we'll jump in that way. But Tony, one of the things that I wanted to get your opinion on is, for a long time, people were speculating after this lawsuit, everything will be different in the United States. Obviously, that's not the case, but you brought it up yourself with the Grayscale news. We're going to see ETFs approved in the next 12 months, and I think that's what's going to drive this next catalyst into crypto. Are you anticipating the same thing? We started off this show saying the most exciting thing in crypto right now is Bitcoin. It's the possibility of a spot Bitcoin ETF, because that's going to affect everything else in the crypto market. Where's your head at?
Yeah, for sure. I'm in agreement. I think one of the narratives going into the next bull market are the ETFs. Sure, there's going to be secondary narratives. I think AI tokens might be one. In addition to, I think we might see a resurgence of the NFT narrative with actual real world adoption with big brands. But I think the ETF narrative is going to be the leader, and rightfully so. I mean, there's going to be so much capital that's going to be able to flow into the Bitcoin. And as you can imagine, a Bitcoin ETF gets approved, the Ethereum spot ETFs are going to come, basket spot ETFs are going to come for all coins. So it's going to open the door for a bunch of different ETFs. And Bitcoin certainly will be the leader with the branding, and BlackRock and all these guys are going to market the hell out of it. Retirement funds are going to flow into Bitcoin, it's spot ETFs, I should say, and the registered investment advisors will be able to offer it. Yeah, I was talking to somebody just the other day. I have a financial advisor. Of course, I've been telling him, hey, I'm investing in crypto. And he's like, yeah, that's great, Tony, but they can't touch it. They can't do anything about it. He was even saying, hey, I personally invest some in crypto, but unfortunately, I can't talk to you about it. I can't offer anything to you. We can't custody anything. But that's going to change, my friends, and that's going to be a new, higher plateau that we're going to be entering. So I'm incredibly bullish, and we're obviously in a rough macroeconomic point right now. But I've been reminding people it's all cyclical. Look, this will come to an end. To quantitative tightening, they're going to go back to QE. Global liquidity will increase again. It's just getting through this tough period in time.
Hey, Tony, I just want to ask you a question real quick. So I get they're not being able to custody it unless they have a custody account set up with, say, I don't know, one of the larger exchanges. But my question is, what was the reason, and if you're able to share this or wanting to, what was the reason that they said they couldn't give you advice on it? Was it because they couldn't custody it, they couldn't take percentage points to get funded for it?
Oh yeah, part of it is just the financial aspect. They can't make money off of it. Like, I
Okay,
kid
got
you
it.
not, one of the guys was asking me, "Oh, what do you think about liquidating some of your crypto and moving the funds over?"
Right,
And I'm like, "Nah, no, I'm okay. Look, I have a investment property. I have my real estate. Excuse me, I have my crypto, and here's the money I want to put in, like, mutual funds and ETFs and all that jazz." And they're because they know they can't make money off it. But once the
Correct.
ETFs come, it's
Yep.
open season.
Okay, yeah, I just wanted to make sure because I was like, okay, that part I 100% get because I know that if you do like a fee financial advisor where you're paying them that, then they should be able to give you advice if they understand it well enough to give you any advice. But I would imagine that most financial advisors may not. But thank you, Tony, I appreciate that. And then the other thing that I wanted to say was I brought X16N underscore ups. And I'm sure that spells something or I'm saying it really weird. But I would love for you to ask your question, and please everybody start raising your hand if you want to come up and join in on the conversation. We really appreciate that and love it. And while we're bringing those up, we'll also be going over to some of the team to hear why they enjoy Merlin and some of their favorite things about Merlin now that Merlin is live. But X16N underscore, the floor is yours.
I was actually going to come in and ask Tony Edwards why his financial advisor said that. Even it blew my mind, but thank you for asking that.
Well, we can shift the conversation too, Jeremy. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead, Abs.
So this is what's really interesting, Tony. Another narrative that me and Johnny have been talking about over the last couple of weeks is this is so underrated. For the first time ever, because of crypto technology, central banks are going to communicate with each other and work together. What do you think about that? Because there's a lot of different directions you can take that thought process. Mine goes to this. Central banks are now becoming this independent authority. They already have control over the money. It's safe to assume they have control over the policy as well. Is that a concern for you with what we're seeing out of R3? Central banks are going to become interconnected and they're going to communicate every day instantaneously. Do you have any concerns with this whole movement?
That's a good question. I think there's going to be a lot of benefits in them doing that. And with money on the blockchain, they're going to have a lot of instant settlement, the ability to act faster and steer the ship a bit faster when it comes to monetary policy and addressing, problems in the financial markets and so forth. But to your point, not every government around the world, a central bank around the world, abides by the same rules and laws and respect for human rights and all that stuff. So it's to be seen. Could they do something nefarious, or could this make them do more draconian things? It's possible, but that's to be seen how that's going to be policed. But maybe if they're all connected and it's connected via the IMF and the BIS and so forth, there's a bit more control in policing. But I think there's pros and cons there.
Johnny, I want to get your thoughts as well, but I just want to remind, we have 51 people here. This is the official launch of Merlin, the smartest way to track your crypto. And I want you to follow the account that's hosting this event. You get 30 days free to try our application, create an exit plan, check out our market structure and the user interface. It's unbelievable. So I just wanted to remind people, follow the Merlin account and get your 30-day free trial. But Johnny, jump right in.
As you're talking about Merlin, I just wanted to say how excited I am to have a few partners on with us, and Tony is one of those. I know you missed it in the beginning, so I wanted to say, Tony, thanks for the confidence in having us at Merlin. I'm so glad you're also part of it, as well as Jenna and Kevin Cage and Darcy. And we'll be announcing all those along the way. But we are excited that Tony has had a chance to use it, and I'd love love for those guys to kind of talk about it, Abs. I think what's exciting for me is that we finally got it out there. People can now start to create their exit plans. They can start to take the emotion out of the game, because that's what's used against you, and it can really put people in a really good place during the next bull run. And that's what our goal was, Abs. As we set out 2 years ago to get this done, we said we need to have this in place before the next bull run happens. We want people to have it. We want people to get familiar with it. We want people to start getting in the habit of bringing all your coins into one place so you can see them. Remember, Merlin doesn't own your coins. We don't custody your coins. We don't have your keys. We don't want your keys. Okay, all we want, we're a display. We're going to show you everything, and then we're going to give you the ability to create exit plans and get alerts so you know when it's time to get out, when it's time to sell, so you can put some profit in your pocket, rather than fight against the human emotion of thinking it's going to continue to go up when it certainly isn't. It can only go up so high before it has to come down. And we're really excited to have that out there, Abs. We wanted to get it out there before the bull run. 36,000 lines of code are now out there in the hands of people to be able to now play with it like 30 free days. And here's the other thing we did. I always hate create or sign up for something, and then I don't know how to, or I don't know how to get out, or I got to get on the phone with someone that barely speaks English, right? And I can't understand them. And there's no way to know, where do I cancel? How do I get out? We didn't want that experience. We made it easy for people. We said, hey, look, we're going to put the cancel button right in the app. You have the power to cancel anytime you want, right in the app, right in your profile settings. And oh, by the way, when we get to about 3 days before the end of your trial notice, 30 days, we send you a notice. We tell you your thing's going to end in 30 days, in 3 days. If you want to cancel, you can cancel it so you don't get charged. So
Johnny, I'll give people a Merlin guarantee right now. I can guarantee you all of Merlin's employees speak English. That's a guarantee.
Yes, we do. And listen, I don't got no problem with people not speaking English. I'm just saying, when I'm trying to cancel something, if I speak English, obviously I want to talk to someone that speaks English. If I speak French, I want to talk to somebody who speaks French. So my point isn't about the language. My point is, we're trying to make it simple so that if you can try it. We wanted to make it risk-free, and we wanted to make it simple, that if you find out it's not for you, that's fine. Go into the app. You just hit one button, one click, cancel, and you're out. That's it, and you won't get charged.
Very cool. And Jeremy, I see you got your hand up as well. The best thing about Merlin, guys, 30 days absolutely free. Like Johnny said, it's 2 clicks to cancel your subscription too, so you may as well go check it out. But Jeremy, the floor is yours.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Abs. And I also want to add to one of the other great things about Merlin is anytime that you have a question, we do have dedicated hours. We have an email line that you can send to us, and we do have a chat box that's available, even if you're not a customer of Merlin or a client of Merlin yet, because we want to make it easy for you to ask questions, because there are lots of people that are even coming new into this space, and they have a lot of questions about being able to connect their exchanges and wallets. And the customer support team is very knowledgeable when it comes to cryptocurrency, understanding the different exchanges and wallets, and they're very, I'm very confident in their knowledge of Merlin specifically. So whether or not you're a customer or not, you can go and ask questions. You can call us up. You have access to us during certain hours of the day, but we do have a requirement within our company to get back to you within a certain amount of time. And so I'm really proud of where we are at with our customer support and what we're doing, because we know that that's something that's going to set us apart from all of the other exchanges and crypto trackers that are out there. Back to you, Abs.
Here's another really cool detail. And Johnny, I know me and you have been collaborating behind the scenes with this as well. We are creating a mock portfolio using the Merlin application. We're going to use it every day on Good Morning Crypto. So if you want to learn more about Merlin, or you want to learn more about crypto overall, check out our show. Watch Good Morning Crypto every single day at the 3T Warrior Academy channel. But I'm putting you on the hot seat tonight, Johnny. I got to ask you, we're talking about the exit plan. What's your first sell target for XRP?
Oh, come on now, man. You see, it's funny that you said that, because a lot of people want to know what other people are doing in crypto. And we are actually, so I got to be careful. I can't let the cat out of the bag, but we are working on something so that at some point you'll be able to kind of see. Let's just put it this way. We're working on a way to create something, Abs, so that people can see what some of their favorite crypto, whatever you want to call them, influencers, educators, whatever you want to call them, out there are doing. So I'm going to leave it at that, Abs. If people want to see that, we got something in the pipeline there to be able to bring that to you. But I am excited to let you know that some of the partners we have today, I think it's so important that as you're trying to learn this space, go check out Tony Edwards in crypto and his content. Go check out Jenna X. Go check out Kevin Cage, Darcy, and them. They have a lot of knowledge in this space, and you can get a really, really good understanding of how do you play in the space? How do you pick exit targets? Here in the academy, we got Andrew Cashflow's course, and you can do that as well. So I think it's important that people figure out how to create those exit plans, whether it's, hey, I want to get out when I make a 25% profit, or do you use Fibonacci tools, or do you see what your favorite influencer is doing, those kinds of things. So I think we're working on trying to bring all that stuff together and make it easier for people to do that. So as you said, if you haven't tried it out, you can just go to www.merlincrypto.com and try it out for 30 days or to your favorite influencers, either one.
Well, Johnny Crypto, you're acting like Gary Gensler when he was sitting in front of Congress, just dodging the question and dodging bullets left and right here. The question was, what's your first sell target, my friend?
Oh, man. You know what? We need to get you on the court there. We got to get you in the Senate. And when Gensler's on, to make sure when he tries to dodge it, the same question comes back. Man, I tried to direct that thing. He brought that so much right back. All right. So, Abs, I look at that. Remember, here's the important thing about exit strategy. You have to it all starts with what your entry price is, right? It starts with that, obviously, and understand. So everybody's exit plan is going to be different because it all depends on when you got in. So my exit plan, for example, probably isn't going to work for a lot of other people if you didn't get in at the same exit price I got it. But, my first target is, somewhere just under the all-time highs, because I know everybody's going to be selling at the all-time highs. So I'm going to be slightly, my strategy will be slightly below where I'm selling. And again, because if you're too high, then you may not hit your target. So, I'll be somewhere in that for target number one. This may be 5-10% below the all-time high.
All right. And Abs, we do have a question from Ruben. Are you okay if we open up the floor to him?
Yeah. Hey,
all
what's
right,
up, Ruben?
perfect.
Hey, what's going on, guys? I honestly don't even have a question. I just wanted to give you guys your flowers because the Merlin web page and the application itself, it's beautiful. I use it to go ahead and track literally all of my assets, right, from connected on my Ledger, on my Trust wallet, on my MetaMask. I really do really appreciate how Merlin is really just structured the way that it is, and I don't even have to go ahead and log into any of these other applications and check on prices and see all this other stuff. I don't have to go on even CoinGecko or that web pages just to check everything. It's all on one specific web page and one specific app. I actually finally, Johnny, I know you mentioned this today on the show on how to actually go ahead and add it as an application on the phone. I didn't even realize that until earlier this morning. But I mean, you guys are just phenomenal, and I'm going to just go ahead and give you guys your flowers because you guys truly do deserve it. You guys honestly every single morning, right, start the show with just beautiful spirits, and you guys are just flat out amazing. I should have honestly taken a picture with you guys when I actually saw you guys at the end, because honestly, I'm just not that type of person to actually just go up to random people and just request photos and stuff like that. But no, honestly, you guys are truly, truly, truly genuine and amazing individuals, and I just want you guys to honestly know that.
Wow.
Oh
Yeah,
my
go ahead,
gosh, wow. Thank you so much, Ruben. I'm sorry, I'm super loud and super excited with that, but I'll let Johnny Abs talk too.
Well, Ruben, I just want to say thank you so much for coming up and sharing those words. You have no idea. When you were speaking, I got goosebumps on my back. It may sound corny, but it was really cool because, when you spend 2 years of your life trying to put something together to put it out there, you don't know if it's going to work. You don't know, if it's going to help people. You know what people are going to think about it. So I want to say thank you so much for sharing those words with us and giving us, kind of your thoughts on how it's you. And more importantly, is it improving your life? And it sounds like it has. And that's super exciting to hear that. Comments like that, I got to tell you, it just makes me take a deep breath and go, wow, it was all worth it. So thank you so much. I'm glad it's helping. And I can't wait till we get to the bull run and you can start putting some fits in your bank. That's going to be great. And by the way, dude, if you ever see us anywhere, man, don't hesitate. Just come on up.
Yeah.
We'll take a picture. We'll do anything. We love that.
Trust me, they love taking pictures, Ruben. So always take their picture.
That was going to be my number one comment. Was going to say, guys, please approach us. That's why we do it. Every single person that we approached that we got to speak to at XRP Las Vegas, it was, or not XRP Las Vegas, the Ripple party. It was just, it's like you're meeting somebody from your family in a way. Everybody talks about how we're conspiracy minded, but when you get into these types of communities, everybody's so like minded. And you said something, Ruben, about our spirit. That's what really meant a lot to me, because all the flowers go to Jeremy and Johnny with Merlin and Coach JV and the Merlin team. But when you talk about having a spirit and us really loving each other and loving what we do, that's genuine. And the fact that shows, it really means a lot. So shout out to you, Ruben. Hopefully next time we're together, we get a pick.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. We love hanging out. So next time you see us, make sure that you reach out to us.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
Uh,
I mean,
Abs, can you hear me okay?
I'm sorry.
Oh, no, Ruben, you're good. Ruben, go ahead.
Go ahead, Ruben.
Oh yeah, no, I was honestly gonna say. I mean, the one person that I did actually get a chance to actually say hi to and actually shake his hand was actually JV, and I literally told JV seriously every single time he posts a video too, right? It's like as if he's speaking directly into your soul, right? And I honestly told him too, and I was like, look, man, God bless you and God bless your family because just a phenomenal human being, and you can just tell just off of just like just his presence and who he is as an individual. And you guys too. I mean, I spoke to you, Jeremy, on the Discord and on the 3T or the royalty Discord not too long ago this
Yep.
week.
Yep.
And you guys are just like super genuine human beings. And I can't. There's not enough people in the crypto space, right, that really are just like you guys. So I really do appreciate you guys. Everybody really should be tuning into your show every single morning. You guys are just flat out amazing, for real.
Oh, thank you so much. I
Shout out to
appreciate
you,
you,
Ruben.
Ruben.
And I just followed you, so feel free to stay in touch in DMs or whatever. Appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks, Abs. Thanks. I appreciate you, brother.
Yeah. And Abs, we did have another guest that listener that I brought up. Fear something. I didn't catch it. Fear. I know that you jumped down. If you want, request again to speak, and we'll bring you on up to keep the conversation going. Oh, maybe this is him or her. Here we go. All right, Fear Index. I'm bringing you up. And let's make sure you're up here. And all right, Fear, you're more than welcome. The floor is yours if you want to ask your question or add anything. And I see that Abs is speaking. Abs, can you still hear me and or Johnny?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you. It doesn't show that I'm speaking when I'm speaking. So, Fear, the floor is yours. I'm not sure. I can hear it. I can hear Abs, so that's good.
I was just curious. Like, I love the idea of everything that you're doing. I found out about you through Kevin Cage. My spectacle mind. Like, I worry about things, and I'm just like, what is the protocol as far as what you do with the information, as far as addresses and public knowledge and things like that?
Yeah, that's a great question. When we set out to create Merlin, the very first rule we made was we don't want your keys, we don't want your coins, we don't want none of that information, and we don't need it. That's the beautiful thing. With everything being on the public, with everything being public on the blockchain, anybody can see all our stuff, right? I mean, you can go
Right.
So the good news is all we're doing is basically, think about this. We're just aggregating and bringing all of your public information to you in one place. Now, in terms of what do we do with the data, here's the great thing about Merlin.
That is the question exactly right there.
Yeah. I'm going to answer that for you right now. So we set out in the beginning, we said, there's basically one or two ways you make money, right? To be able to survive, you keep the company going. We could take your data and sell it, and then we'd be like Amazon, and we'd be like Facebook, right, where you don't pay a penny.
Exactly, right.
But there's a reason why they make a shit ton of money. It's because they sell your information, but they don't charge you for they don't charge you for use. We said, well, look, we're going to do one or two principles. We're going to take people's data, and we're going to use it. We're not going to charge them. We'll give the app for free forever, and then we'll sell the data. Or we're going to keep everybody's data private. We're not going to sell it. We're not going to give it to anybody, so they'll get it by a bunch of advertising. We're just going to have to charge for the app because the app is going to run it, right? So that's
I'm sorry, Johnny. You're echoing.
Yeah, we call him Johnny Fishbowl sometimes when he gets far away from the microphone.
Yeah, I don't know why that's happening with my phone. Is this better, Abs, or am I still echoing?
No, it was coming in perfect, but then it got choppy at the end.
Okay, how about now? Can you hear me pretty good?
It's a little bit. It's good enough to answer the
a little
question.
better.
All right. So basically, what we set out was we said we're either going to be a data company, or we're going to just charge for the app and keep everybody's data private, and that's what we chose to do. We said rather than sell everybody's data and give the app for free, we're not going to give the app away for free. We're going to charge for it so we can afford to keep the servers and everything running and keep the developers, going, so we can continue to improve the app. And we're going to keep everybody's data private. So all your data is not shared with anybody. It's a lockup, 32-bit encryption. Nobody can access it. Nobody can see it. And it's pretty much kept private. And that's kind of how we handle it. We don't
and that won't or can't change.
No, so if that were to ever change, by law, we would have to notify you, right? So we would say, hey, we're now going to sell your data, or we're going to use your data, blah, 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 that kind of a thing. Okay.
Right.
But we would have to notify you, and then we obviously would probably not charge for the app, or you would have to opt in for that. So let's say we did that, right? You would wake up one day, and in your notification, you'd pop up, you'd open Merlin, and on the front page, it would say, we've changed our policy. Now use your data. Do you want to opt in for that or not? That would be your choice. We would
Right,
never.
but a lot of app developers kind of sneak that in with, "Hey, we've upgraded the app. Would you like to approve function?" Right. So, I'm just because I'm very I love the idea and the premise of the application. Like I absolutely love it. Track everything, link everything, and have a one space to go. And I think that what you guys are doing is incredible. I'm just wondering, for people that are trying to stay anonymous, is this the way to go?
Yeah, so you are 100% anonymous. Nobody right now can see what you're doing, and we will never share that data information. Now, obviously, if you're having an issue with your particular account and we have to troubleshoot your account, we can get in there. We can do whatever we have to do to fix your account, right? But other than that, remember, even us, we still have no access to your coins or access to any of your stuff.
No. It's just the tracking. It's that's what it is. It's just the tracking. It's it's public.
And Fear Index, just so you know, right now, if I understood what you were saying with wrapping it up, because that's one of the things that frustrates me a lot when there's new app things that come out, they bundle up all of the changes, or they don't highlight the more important changes or the bigger changes that come into place. As of right now, again, I don't know where the future of Merlin is going to be as far as the company is concerned with how the company grows and moves forward. But as of right now, the sentiment between the owners and the executives of the company that's designing Merlin, which I'm the operations officer / finance officer, our goal and the way that the designers are and the chief technology officer, we would separate that for you so you had a clear understanding of what was happening with the data, because that is a very important part of what we have access to is with your data. So as of right now, we wouldn't do it in a way where we would do a big update and then have you agree to that. When it comes to the data piece, we would separate it as best we could. Now, again, we're at the very beginning stages of Merlin, because we have just said it, it's just launched essentially. And so I don't know where that would be in the future as the company grows, evolves, and changes. But as of right now, that would be the sentiment.
Yeah.
Well, what? I think what you guys are doing is incredible, and I'm gonna be following, and I'm probably gonna link up a few of my addresses, my long-term holds, and I wish you guys all the best, and God bless. Absolutely.
Thank you so much. God bless you too. Thank you.
Let me test your audio real quick. Can you give me a 1, 2, 3 and test your mic?
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, testing.
Perfect. Coming in perfectly clear. I think those types of questions, and I'm kicking it straight to you, Johnny, those types of questions are so valuable because I think they're the questions that a lot of people have, but they're afraid to ask. So thank you for answering that fear index, if that's what you go by. And thank you so much for your love and support, and God bless you as well.
Well, if I can say to him, Fear, just so you know, we're the type of company, and you just heard Ruben make a comment, we are all authentic here. And I know it sounds cheesy, but we have a high level of integrity, trust, and authenticity that we operate this company under and anything we do. And if you're familiar with 3T Academy, you'll know that's how Coach operates too. We all have that same vibe, that same frequency. If we were ever to, and I'm not saying we are, because that is not our policy. Our policy is your privacy. Your data is it's private. That's why we charge for the app. Your data will always be protected. So that, I don't ever really see that for changing in the future. But if it were to happen, we would never, ever sneak a clause like that in our upgrade changes without giving you guys, being very clear of, hey, this is what we're doing, and do you want to opt in? If we ever did that change in privacy, that would be its own separate thing. It would be very blatant and obvious in the app, and you would have to make the option to choose in or out of that. So I just want to make that
well, no, and I totally appreciate that. But what happens when you guys, being the natural born talents that you are, sell your amazing company to conglomerates that want to, use that information?
Well, so here's the good news for you. If we were to ever sell it, who knows if that day ever to come, right? basically by law, because of all the privacy protection rules that are out there, any company that wants to change the policy on your data, by law now, since the CEPA rules happened, I think in 2020 they passed them, you have to be given notice that your data is changing, and you have to have the because you've already opted in, or because our policy stated where your data is not used. If that were to change, anybody who bought us would have to give you guys the option to opt in. That's a law now, just so you know. That's why about 2 years ago, whenever you logged into your pages, all these things were telling you these new policies, and if they were changing your data, you had to actually opt in if they were going to sell your data. So, yeah, but yeah, we're not
Johnny's in the fishbowl again, so hopefully you can still hear him.
Yeah. Well. Anyways, I appreciate y'all.
Yeah, I appreciate you.
Yeah, keep following with you, y'all.
Well, thank you
for your index. Appreciate you.
Appreciate it, brother. And we hope you try it out. And yes, trust us, we will protect your.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for the question. And guys, I love it. I love these kind of questions. If you've had a chance to use Merlin, please come up. We want to hear from you. We want to hear what kind of experience you're having, whether it's good or bad. Let us know. And also for the other people listening now, maybe they want to hear what your experiences are too. So if you're using Merlin right now, please raise your hand. Come on up. We'd love to hear what your experience has been like so far.
Johnny Crypto, we got an exciting special guest as well. Your bro Quincy is in the building. So first of all, thank you so much for talking to us, Quincy. How you feeling tonight? What's on your mind?
No, I just wanted to congratulate you guys. I'm super excited to see everything going on here, having your main launch. I remember you guys talking about this for the longest bit. I definitely want to check out your platform. Just love seeing builders in the space, just kind of how it is. And I don't know, I just felt like, oh, shoot, launch? What? I can't miss this. So just hopped in.
It's definitely
Quincy.
What's
I love
up,
you,
man?
brother. Thank you for
Oh,
coming.
man, I love you guys too. I just love everything you guys are doing. It's I love the energy. You guys are very welcoming. It's amazing. And yeah, I like to float around a little bit. And I remember you guys talking about this for just so long. So like it literally just passed by. I was like, what? No way. Like, and just show my support.
Thank you so much, Quincy. That means a lot.
Yeah, that's awesome, Quincy. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you, Quincy. I know you as a developer, you can appreciate, what it takes and all the things you go through. And
actually, I had one big question for you guys. So you guys are launching now. What is your like overall vision? Every team sort of has this vision of, what does it look like with our millionth user? What type of features would we may want to integrate? Who could we possibly partner up with? And the possibilities are endless. Like, what's your dream? What's your vision with everything going on? Like that's like my favorite part of just being in the builder space and even in the crypto startup space is hearing everybody's visions and dreams. And that's the thing that's not even the coolest part is like, once you guys go out there and make that millionth freaking user and go make that $1 billion, I can go, I was there at the media launch. I knew it. If they said it, I knew for a fact.
Yeah.
I can tell you my main dream right now, Quincy, is to get Johnny a new cell phone for the Twitter Spaces or X Spaces. After that, I'm all ears for whatever Johnny wants.
If you're enjoying this space, go purchase Merlin so we can get Johnny a new cell phone. That's the number one mission for tonight. I know this man has a Samsung, so that's the first issue.
That is like a 20-year-old Samsung, if I'm not mistaken. I'm kidding, Johnny. I love you.
I checked, the Android platform is larger than iPhone, but I want to get to answering Quincy's question because I think that's an awesome question. The first question that I asked is, can you hear me? Like, do I sound? Am I good? Can you hear me?
Yes, and you know what? It's a great time to plug our 5-part series that's coming out next week for the launch of Merlin, Johnny. On day 5, I asked you this question within our interview, so I thought that was good to mention.
That's right. That's right. There is going to be a 5-day episode series coming out on YouTube. Just go to our Merlin YouTube channel, and each day, Abs will be showing you a new feature about Merlin and how it works. Don't miss that. And then on day 5, yes, he poked you with a ton of questions, your questions, frequently asked questions, and I answer them all. So don't miss that. But I do want to answer this question.
Before you answer that question, because this is so amazing right now. Plus, I want to get your permission real quick. This is just such an amazing space. And I don't know if you guys saw my recent video. I've been trying to get into the new video format type, hop into spaces. Would it be okay if I filmed your space for my video, just talked about your launch and got that question? I'm literally about to move everything around, but get your permission and just wanted to see what you guys were down for.
100%, sir. If Johnny's okay with it, I think it would be fantastic. I also see a bunch of hearts coming from CJV over there in the. I don't know where he's at on yours, but on the bottom right in mine. So I think that we're all in agreement. So you are more than welcome to, Quincy.
Okay, give me 2 minutes to set up real quick, and thank you.
while you set that up, I'll hold off on my answer then. I just really want to record it. But yeah, it is awesome, guys. I see CJB in the house. I don't know if he's able to come and speak, but I just want to say something special about this man. So I met CJB about 3 years ago through TikTok. Thank God my
Johnny,
conversation.
you're slipping back into the ocean, brother.
I love you, Johnny.
Is Johnny
Crypto, and I hate to
underwater again?
I did not want to interrupt the heartbeats, but we gotta get him out of the fishbowl really quick. So Johnny, move around your house. We'll test the audio and we'll kick it to you. We got
You
Coach
know,
JV who just joined us as a special guest. So JV, we love you. First of all, thank you so much for everything you built and created. How you feeling tonight? Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you. So I'm just an honor to be here. I know I have a pretty strict rule after 2:00, but I saw this pop up and I got to jump on there with my team. So I do want to bring up number one, Quincy. Your energy is freaking insane. I love it, dude. I love you so much. I love your energy, man. I love that you're a creator in the space. It's just really neat. And yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
Please
appreciate it, man. Dude, I love your energy, bro.
Thank you.
Warriors. Oh my God, dude, I love
Warriors.
it.
Let's get your shit together. Let's go. All right. So let's. What I wanted to talk about is the great. I forgot the gentleman's name. Sorry, that was up. And one of the things that we really focus on all the companies that we created. We created multiple companies with Jeremy, with Abs, with the whole group up here. And one of the things that we focus on is principles, which are extremely, extremely important when it comes to business. So when we talk about any of the companies that we run, it's integrity, honesty, and uncompromising belief systems. And we have a belief system in something bigger than us, like creating consciousness, expanding consciousness. And the integrity comes when doing things right all the time when people are not looking. And I think that's really, really important. And honesty is something that I really appreciate with these guys. This is why I do business with these guys. This is why I've been running with them this whole time. Why we created Merlin. Why we've gone through this process is because when you run with people with integrity, and number two is honesty. When things go wrong, we make it right, but we admit that they go wrong. And I think that's really important as we go into business and as we go into our personal lives too. It's for me, it's peace, freedom, and family structure. And it's all about building a family with our companies. It's about building a family and ecosystem. And that's what I love about what Quincy is coming up with this energy, because that's what this space needs, is that high frequency, high energy. And at the Ripple event, as Abs was talking about, I mean, man, my cheeks hurting. I was smiling so much at that event. It was wild. Everybody was high frequency, high energy, all the love. And then you see the comments and some of the stuff, and I'm just like, oh man, only if you guys could feel the absolute love and frequency. So I just wanted to say, I don't want to come up here and do some big speech, but I just want to say I'm really going to get emotional. But I'm really honored to run with these guys. These are men I would go to war with. I would die for these men and women on this line. We got Jackie. I think we got Brenda on here. We got our whole team on here. I would die for people. And one of the things that I just want to share with you guys is I just want to put my hearts and prayers out to all the people in humanity right now. And all I'm going to say is it's time for us to really level up, man. Level up our frequency, level up our relationship with higher source, whatever that rep for you. And we need to get out there and start creating. I know Quincy's out there creating the space because the God that I know and the God that I believe in wants us to expand consciousness and not repeat it. And that's what's happening within our world. So that's what Merlin represents. 36,000 lines of code, in the trenches, building conversations. These guys are on conference calls, I think, every single day. And you hear Johnny's phone. It's probably frustrating. You can't even hear him. But I just want to say I love these guys. So I just appreciate everybody in this space. And, this is a beautiful time. And I love what Quincy said. It's something that we are, as we're visionaries. And I speak things into existence. And I will put it on this call right now, especially since Quincy's going to be recording this. This Merlin will be a billion-dollar company. I've been saying it since the beginning, since Johnny walked into that office and presented, because in order to bring value to humanity, in order to become wealthy, we're not talking about physical wealth, is you need to solve massive problems for humanity. If you can solve massive problems for humanity with integrity, honesty, and uncompromising belief systems and a good group of people, then you'll be the richest man or woman in the world. So I just want to say I love you guys. I appreciate you. And as we always say, warriors, rise, get your shit together. Let's go.
Well, Coach, before you leave, I just want to say that you've talked about in the past about what makes somebody rich, and reality is having friends like you, man. That makes it rich, right? And if I have another dollar in my life, I wouldn't even care. Just being able to have met you and Jeremy and Mario and I'm gonna mess all the names and Abs and Gonzo, and I want everybody in the academy. It has been life changing for all of us. That kind of love, spirit, that vibes around you, that when you're around you just feel great about it. I just want to say I'm so glad that that you've come into my life, and I know everybody around you feels the same way. We just it's helped elevate all of our frequencies, and it's just so amazing to be around you. And then the great things to be able to build a business or businesses together that helps humanity and do it with your friends. I mean, that's just priceless right there. You talk to a lot of people, you will actually hear them say would never go into business with a friend because they don't want to ruin a relationship. I got to tell you something. I wouldn't want to go into any business without you guys as friends. Love you guys. You guys are wonderful. Coach, love you so much. So thank you so much for popping in tonight. I know your family rule and the fact that you broke it to come here tonight, again, just says so much about you. So thank you so much for being here.
And guys, there's a lot that we can talk about with JV. You know what gets me really excited is I just want to give a shout out to everybody who makes things happen behind the scenes, like May and Dustin and Josh, Jackie, Brenda, Heidi, Tom. Those types of people that we only get to see every maybe 3 or 4 months. But when you come into that support system, they just make you feel like you're coming into a family reunion. I've never seen it anywhere in my life. And that's something that besides crypto, you can put crypto and everything else to the side. That unique frequency is what everything's been built on. Merlin, Good Morning Crypto, our friendship, our relationships, the fact that we're so honest and open with one another, that's what everything is all about within this group. And that really just starts with you, JV. So I don't know if you just want to say goodbye or anything like that, but thank you so much. And thank you for jumping in here.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll say goodbye to everybody. And I just want to say thank you. And, it's something I think it's really important. And I'll bring up the thing that Johnny brought up. I'm very, very strict on principles. And I do want to bring this up because I think it's something that, it's be more of a directive. I think everybody should read Ray Dalio's book called Principles. When I started developing principles in my life and setting boundaries, what I mean by that is, for me, peace, freedom, and family structure. When I developed those principles, I developed a hard line, 2 o'clock, where I raise my kids. And, when they were saying, oh, TikTok's raising our kids, TikTok doesn't raise my fucking kids. YouTube doesn't raise my kids. I raise my kids. And so what I did was, and I encourage everybody to do, is to grind. We put 3 to 4 years of backbreaking work in for freedom. All of you are 3 years away from nose to the grind, backbreaking, staying away from the 99%, focusing on building principles, activating every single day, being disciplined and consistency, and doing something you're passionate to completely freeing yourself. And it's just something I encourage everybody to do. I built a hard line, 2 o'clock. I raise my kids. I have dinner with my kids every single night. I do homework with my son. I take weekends off. And people, this grind culture that's been sold out there that you have to work 19 hours a day. If you're working 19 hours a day and you're not sleeping, you're not being effective. We have to be very, very effective with our time. We have to be disciplined. We have to be consistent. And the path to the light is difficult, so the weak and weary will not follow. So I encourage all of you in this time right now. Quincy's out there creating the 3T Warrior Academy. We're out there creating 9 companies have been created with it. We have equity in 32 companies have been created within our ecosystem. But it's not for the weak and weary. It's for the discipline, the consistency. So one thing that I'll say with you guys is develop principle structures right now. That's what's going on in America. There's just people with no principles, no boundaries, no belief systems. And so if we can go out there and really put in that work, the discipline, consistency, start expanding conscious, you're going to separate yourself from the 99%. And it's not about competition. It's about creation and cooperation. So I wanted to bring that piece up because, a lot of people would look at that as a weird thing where it's like, I'm hardline 2 o'clock. I don't answer calls. I don't get on meetings because raising my kids is so unbelievably important to me because I didn't have that when I grew up. And what I believe is we're supposed to leave this world a better place. So I encourage everybody to develop some principles, and as Johnny said, hell yeah, do business with your friends. The reason why people don't want to do business with their friends and it gets destroyed because they don't develop principles, have clear conversations. They're not having honest conversations when things are going wrong. So the people you run with, make sure they have principles, make sure they have ethics, make sure they have morals, a belief system, and be around people that will be honest with you and call you on your shit. Just very excited, very motivated, and I just appreciate all of you guys. And I want to say thank you to this Merlin team and behind the scenes. I don't want to use names because I'll forget we have 27 team members, but these guys are grinding, right? So they're in that phase right now. It's that 3-year grind. And I'm telling you, I will say it on this call right now, Merlin will be a $1 billion company.
Thank you so much, Coach. We love you. And Gonzo, I see that you joined the chat as well. I'd love to give you a chance to talk. I know that Quincy is working on getting his set up right now. So when Quincy jumps here, we're going to hear the 5-year, 10-year, 20-year vision for Merlin as well. But Gonzo, floor is yours. And then I just saw we have a special guest, so we'll kick it to them.
Yeah, thanks, Abs. Just want to shout out to Coach JD. The boys, we talk every day. Like, we talk every day. We're all super close. But, we emulate our leader. Like, you see a lot of the other communities or maybe content creators that have a team, and they kind of emulate their leader's energy. And we 100% emulate JV's energy, right? So just super appreciative to be on the team. And, I love you guys. And like Coach JV, I go to war with you guys. And there is no doubt in my mind when Coach JV says that Merlin's going to be a $1 billion company, I get chilled, bro, because I just know it's facts. Like, it's already happened, and now we just have to live it.
And Johnny, I knew something was special about your energy the moment I met you, way before Merlin, way before Good Morning Crypto. We first met each other in Las Vegas, and it was love from the start. But I don't want to get too smoochy on this on this Merlin launch episode. We got a special guest or somebody who wants to ask a question or contribute to the conversation. So Sasomo, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but the floor is yours, my friend.
Hey, what's up, guys? Yeah, that's my company name, Sesamo, and my name is Chris. Shout out to Johnny, man. He called me this weekend. I had a issue trying to connect Uphold to Merlin, and I couldn't believe it. Like, I saw the phone number come in, And I'm like, I don't know who that is, so I'm gonna let it go. Then he texted and said, "Hey, this is Johnny Crypto from Merlin. Give me a call." I was like, "No way." So I gave him a call, and obviously his voice is one of a kind. So I was like, "Wow, it's not a scam. It's a real person." And he dialed it in. He sat there patiently went through it, and I got the exchange connected. And I was just amazed. I'm a business owner, and for a business owner to actually reach out and contact me, that hits my heart good. So thank you, Johnny, for doing that.
So thank you so much for coming up and speaking. It was awesome to talk to you. I was proud to be able to help you and get you going. That's what this is all about. This is really about helping humanity. And when I set forth to put this out together, Coach and I talked about like how can we help people, and as we thought about the exit plan, and then we had the spreadsheet. Like, yeah, but this really, it's really tough to do manual. And when the idea came, hey, we can build an app and let's get it out there and help people. And I knew we had the right people to do it. And I knew it was going to take time to get there. And what you just said made it all worth it. The whole 2-year journey, to be able to know that we can be out there helping you guys, to me, is, I'll say this. Coach talked about principles. One of the things I'll encourage everybody to do, not only build principles, but whatever you do in life, find what your passion is. And if you find that, try to make that your job, your career, and then you'll never work a day in your life, and you'll love it, and you'll keep it going. And I got to tell you, I love talking to you guys. It's an honor for me to get on the phone, to be able to help you guys serve, and be able to know that when the next bull run comes, so many people are going to be able to take generational wealth and create that and put it on the side. And hopefully that'll be because of, Merlin and the tool that we've built. It was so awesome to be able to work with you and be able to help you get you connected and have all your stuff in one place. And I'm so glad you were able to get that up and running. And, I'm honored to be able to help you with that. So thank you so much for that, Sense. I appreciate that.
Yeah. And I believe the spirit led me to you guys as well. My business started to slow down, I think, October of last year, and my overheads, hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. And I was just like, Lord, what do I need to do? And, I have a really good connection with him. And my brother had been telling me about cryptos for like 2015, and I used to like shun him off. And then I don't know, I heard Coach on one of the TikToks, and boom. And now I've been just working my ass off, investigating, researching, looking. And then when I saw Merlin and you guys were talking about, no emotion, have a plan, have an exit strategy, and when that target hits, just go to your exchange and do what you got to do with no emotion. And I was like, that's good, because I'm a person full of emotion, and I definitely need a plan. So kudos, guys. I do have one or two questions. Is I'm in the Merlin app now, so I don't know if you guys do have it, but is there an area, or are you thinking of putting a place where I can see my total target profits and taxes?
Yeah, that's a great question, Sensor. As we build Merlin, we started out with a vision, and we are going to continue to improve it over time. And so, one of the things that I truly believe in whenever you build something is talking to the consumer and understanding what the consumer needs are, what they want. And so, certainly, we encourage everybody to share their feedback. We've designed Merlin where there's a feedback form in the bottom right corner in the help center, and share that feedback with us, because I can promise you, just as I picked up the phone and called you, I can promise you that I single-handedly read all the feedback that every single person writes to us, and we will be building that into our roadmap to make Merlin the best app ever. As Coach said, we will be a billion-dollar company. We're going to do that because we're going to listen to what you guys want, and we're going to build what you guys need to be able to navigate the future in this space. And right now, we have it where you can see the individual profits for all your coins of your individual targets. And we also, by the way, have it where you can see your liability. So if you've gone into Merlin, make sure you guys go into your profile settings and set your tax bracket. When you do that, for every single exit strategy that you create, you will actually be able to see how much taxes you owe on the total gains. And the next thing we can create is a roll up, so you can actually see all of them. That's a wonderful idea. And I'll make sure that I get that on our roadmap, and we factor that in somewhere in the future. So again, thank you so much for that feedback.
Right on, right on. Well, I appreciate you guys for giving me the time on here. And, I'm a every day Good Morning Crypto, man. I listen to all you guys, and every time Coach comes up, man, I'm on it. And trust me, all my friends, everybody I talk to, like that's the first thing that people, oh yeah, I know that crypto. I got wrecked before. I got this. I go, did you have a strategy? And what are you talking about? And I break out my Merlin and I show them this is my strategy. So I'm pushing you guys.
Thank you so much, Chris. And if I could just say something, the fact that you spoke about spirit once again, it's the second time it's come up during this Merlin Spaces, and I don't think it's a coincidence. Me and John always say there's no such thing as a coincidence, just an unrecognized pattern. And I really believe that it's the spirit, it's the vibration, it's these types of people coming together. It's an amazing time to be alive. So thank you so much, Chris. And I really appreciate you watching all the episodes of Good Morning Crypto. If you're ever in the comments, throw something in the comments. I'll throw you up on the screen. Love you, bro, and thank you so much.
And
I love you guys.
And Chris, by the way, got some exciting news. Don't miss tomorrow's episode. We have a very, very special guest on Good Morning Crypto. And if you guys haven't seen it, well, I'm gonna let the cat out of the bag now. Coach JV will be joining us live tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern Time on Good Morning Crypto. So don't miss tomorrow's episode.
I want to add to everybody that's on here. One of the most powerful things that I've learned in this journey that me and CJV started back in 2017 is how powerful it is to listen to what the people are telling us of what they want, one, and then also making sure that we're showing them who we are and what we are doing and that we're working hard on ourselves. And then when I started working on Merlin with Johnny, it took it to another level with his dedication for consumer research, and it has really helped me in my overall, career path or entrepreneurial path, especially with some of the other things that we're working on, because his dedication to listening to what the consumers want and finding a way, if that makes sense for everybody, or is going to provide a value for all of our customers or clients or users, I guess in this case. He is very dedicated to that, and he's not kidding when he says that he reads over every survey. We talk about it at our meetings, we discuss it, figure out how to get it on the roadmap. And so one of the things that I would ask each and every one of you as you go on this journey with us with Merlin, please utilize our customer support. Our customer support is none other, is like no other, and that's our goal, is to make it like no other, especially in the crypto space, and the ability for people to get help. Because like I mentioned earlier, there's going to be tons of people that are coming into the space that are going to need help, and we want to be able to be the authority in that space and be able to provide that. So no matter where you're at, on whether you're on the main page or you're inside of the app, there is a chat box down at the bottom. Feel free to talk to our customer support, leave your feedback. There's a form where you can just leave feedback. We would love for you to leave that, because we want to hear what you have to say, because we want to make this an app for retail investors by retail investors. Over to you, Epps.
So powerful, Jeremy. Make sure to fill all that information out. And guys, I'm going to continue to say it. 30 days absolutely free. And here's the easiest part. If you don't like the application, it's 2 clicks to cancel. There's no games being played here. But Johnny, we're almost 2 hours into this Twitter Spaces. The most highly anticipated event is about to take place. Quincy, I just want to check your audio before we ask the question. Can you hear us, and can you speak clearly?
Yeah, how you guys doing?
Perfect. So we're ready to roll, Johnny. And I hope you're out of the fishbowl for this question. So the floor is yours, Quincy, and I hope the audio is working well.
Yeah, it looks like we're looking good. I want to congratulate you guys again. Really excited with what you guys are doing. Love to see launches and see projects. Always love the team. You guys are like so wholesome and so amazing. Coach JV, man, I have to throw it to you. Like definitely one of the first guys on the block to really give me a chance, and that's still appreciated. And yeah, so now I'm just sort of floating around. I like to talk to new projects about what they're doing, what they see themselves doing in the future, what they're doing now. And we were talking earlier before I had to throw all this stuff together, but I wanted to know now that you guys are launching your application, and actually before you go and explain what you guys anticipate in the long run, you wanna go give a little rundown of what your application does real quick, just so the audience knows. So I want to know like what your dream is in terms of your millionth user, or what you guys plan on the future, or what you guys plan in terms of growth, in terms of like you guys being able to build and grow an application and grow a user base. I know you guys sort of already have a, you want to call it, fan base based off of your morning show, but like growing user base is a whole other animal, and it's kind of cool to see it and seeing it live.
Yes, it is. And, first of all, thank you, Quincy, for your support along the way, and Coach JV's and everybody else. Coach JV is probably the most authentic person I've ever met in my life. And what I love about being around him is, and everybody who's come around us, is everybody seems to be authentic in this group. And that's kind of what was the start of Merlin, was being something that can be out there and help solve a real authentic need Quincy, we saw that it was very, very, very hard to track and keep an idea of when I got into space. I had no clue what my accounts were doing. So being an engineer, I said, all right, I'm going to create a spreadsheet and track all this stuff, And then what I found was it's a pain in the ass. You got to update it every day and you got to put in the latest prices and to see what's going on. And Mario and I tried to automate that, and that kept failing, and there was problems. But you know what? And then one day, Coach started realizing, talking to, I think it was Cryptocito, and realized, hey, you got to have an exit plan. And we're like, holy cow, if we marry the idea of not only crypto tracking, but putting that with an exit plan, we could create the ultimate app. And voila, that's kind of how the idea was born. And in the past, I had started another. Can you guys hear me, by the way? Do I sound better or am I underwater?
Yeah,
the audio's perfect.
Good. I switched to another phone. So, all right. So anyway, we put the idea together, and we said this should, now we can have this great idea of keeping all your crypto or being able to see all your crypto in one place. But that's only half the battle. You need to know when to get the hell out, because when you look at all the curves and you look at all the bull runs and how these markets play, this, Quincy, the curve, they all go up and then they all come crashing back down 90%. And if you don't get out, if you don't ladder out on the way up, which that's what we call the exit plan, then you're going to get wrecked on the way down, because you're just going to watch your portfolio go all the way up and you're going to watch it come all the way down. And we said, no, we have to fix that. And that's when this idea was born. And we set out 2 years ago to do it. Now, fortunate for me, I'm an entrepreneur. I started another company, a fantasy sports company, a few years earlier, which unfortunately didn't make it. I don't want to say it failed, because every failure is really just a lesson learned. And I learned the mistakes I made from that first business. And I built relationships with software developers that, guess what? Well, they're the ones who created Merlin this time around. We put the band back together. I brought them back. I added on the other pieces of business that were missing from the mistakes I learned from the first time. And now we built a well-oiled machine in Merlin, or Blockheads, the company which owns Merlin. And as we move forward now, we have the clear direction. We have the right people, the right bodies in place, which says, I think we have it to be able to build this and turn this into $1 billion company. So now, with that said, you asked me a very important question. You said, what's the roadmap? What's the company look like in the future? And I will tell you this: innovation is the lifeblood of any company. And we've already got a roadmap for the next 5 years of all the different things that we want to build and do and add on and bolt on to Merlin to make it the most powerful tool in the world, so that all the power will be at your fingertips. You won't need anything else. And in fact, if Jeremy has his way, we're going to transform the word Merlin, where no one will think of it anymore as King Arthur's wizard, but it will be thought of as your crypto companion to create generational wealth. So we're super excited about that, and that roadmap that we built out and put together. And I don't want to go into too many details sharing what our future plans are, because our competition is probably listening. But I will tell you that we've got things in there that will help us to improve the product, to be able to add more and more value, to solve a lot of the unmet needs that people are talking about, like, hey, can it do my taxes? Or, hey, can it sell automatically for me? So we've got things like that on our roadmap that we want to build to turn it into the single most important tool in the world, so that when you think crypto, the minute you get in it, the very next thing you think of is, oh my God, I got to get Merlin if I want to play in the crypto space. That's my mission.
No, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. Like, everyone talks so much about like all these different addresses, all the different coins, and all the different wallets, and all these different things in terms of being able to like manage your crypto. But no one ever has a place to like have it all together in terms of being able to track, especially in terms of like people trading and being able to track and being able to manage it from there and being able to together. Especially, I remember earlier you were answering a question where you guys are literally just querying information off the blockchain to be able to allow people to have these dashboards. You're not even the ones even managing their crypto. You're able to give them all these different tools just to allow them to be able to consolidate that information, and then from there they can be able to, as you say, make their exit plan accordingly.
That's right. And we took it a step further. We looked at what all the, so there's two ways to think about business, right? One is be the first, have first mover advantage. And sometimes that works. But you know what you find out? A lot of times the second guy, which they call the fast follower, does better, because the fast follower gets the advantage of seeing all the mistakes the first guy made. And we were fortunate that, everybody says to me, well, Johnny, you're not the first tracker out there. Like, no, I'm glad I'm not. I probably would have made all the mistakes, or we would have made all the mistakes the first guys did. And the fact, the reality is, I was using other trackers. I would have never created Merlin if it wasn't for the fact that I was using other trackers, and I found like, holy crap, these things are crap. They get the wrong data. There's no way to fix the data. And so one day, Quincy, I wake up, right? And my account shows me I got $1.7 million on my crypto tracker. And it happened during a bull run. So I'm like, holy crap. I thought something pumped, So I go look to see what the hell's going on. What pumped? How do I have 1.7 million in my account? I had like 1/50th of that in there, right? So I'm all excited. I'm thinking, and then I find out it's just a crypto tracker error. So that's number one. You're like, well, that sucked. Now I'm still worth 1/50th of that number again, right? And then secondly, you go, okay, let me fix this. And I'm going through the crypto tracker tool that I was using. I don't want to use the name. I don't want to bash anybody. And I'm like, I can't fix it. I can't edit it. I can't edit the coin. I can't. So what happens is in crypto, as you guys know, a lot of cryptos have the same ticker symbol. So at the time, Core had the same. There were two cores out there. One was Core, and I forgot the other one. One coin was worth $5,000. The other one was worth 50 cents. And so, or 5 cents. Of course, I had the 5-cent one, but my app kept thinking I had the $5,000 one. And I could not fix it. I couldn't change it. Couldn't edit it. I couldn't hide it. And I said, you know what? This app is useless. It made my app useless. I could not track my crypto anymore because it kept thinking it was worth 1.7 million. So I said, all right, we're going to create something and we're going to put the right tool in place. So if somebody has this problem, they can go in and they can, and the tools that Merlin have are so powerful. This is 36,000 lines of code because we wanted to put in a bunch of extra stuff to put the power back in the hands of the people. So you guys, if you get Merlin, listen, no crypto tracker app is perfect, okay? I'll tell you that right now. But the nice thing what we did with Merlin is when your portfolio does show the wrong number, I can assure you this, we've got tools in there everywhere possible so you can get your portfolio right. You can change those numbers or change the coin or edit the coin or change your coin base, cost basis so you can get your portfolio right. And that's the most important thing. When you're going into this market, you got to have a good tool. What good going into war with a weapon that doesn't work, right? It's pointless. And I didn't want that. And that's what we did. We set out to solve that. And that's the benefits of being a fast follower and not a first mover.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. It's funny that you actually say that, fast follower instead of a first mover, because a lot of people didn't actually know this, but like, and this goes for so many different companies. So funny, but like Burger King came before McDonald's, Lyft came before Uber. Like Uber was doing like strictly like high class like pickups and drop offs, and Lyft was supposed to be like that around town, and Uber sort of just like ripped, and like everyone looks at Uber now, and it's being able to perfect the process. Like just because you created some sort of product doesn't mean you've essentially perfected it enough for the consumer to be able to use it. And it's funny because obviously being the first one out there, you sort of get that first mover edge, but at the same time, any sort of errors you may come across may essentially be corrected. And I think you guys are sort of killing it in that regard. Like, I think the biggest thing in terms of like making your first step is having an understanding of like what essentially not only makes you different, but essentially like what makes like this valuable, and having the understanding of the flaws in other, literally just sort of what you were saying, like there's just like this simple bug where it's just like showing a price that it shouldn't, and that should be like like a cardinal sin for for a display type of bug, like being able to display your portfolio. And just seeing so many different, because I see this too all the time. Like you see all these different, like you see in a zillion different wallets and a zillion different, like I see this now even with code, a zillion different libraries for stuff, and some things work, some things don't. Some things work really well, some things don't work so well. Like I actually have a whole story of why I don't use Gorda anymore, but that's the thing. Like being able to perfect that, I actually sort of make my own software wallet because of it. But different story. But being able to perfect the flaws in different services you've interacted with is essentially like an amazing basis, especially when you got good.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Listen, the bottom line is if you create something to do something, it better do that something, and it better do it 110%. Or what's the point of it if it isn't doing it right? And, right? So I know you get it. You're a developer in the space, and it's so cool. The other thing that's exciting is here's another thing we did, as we kind of grow Merlin, is we thought out of the box. We're like, hey, let's not only just, how do we partner with people? How do we do this with others, and I know you and I have talked about some stuff. And so the reality is like, we want to get Merlin in the hands, Jeremy's, job. We want to get the Merlin in the hands of as many people can, so people can try it. And that's why we give it away for free for 30 days. We let everybody try it. We made it so simple. I remember when we were making it simple to cancel. People say, you sure you want to do that? I'm like, yeah, I want to do that. Well, why do you want to do it? Because I don't want people who don't want to be in it. And if you don't want to be in it, hey, I want you to try it. And I don't want you to feel like if you try it, that it's too hard to get out if you don't like it. We wanted to make it, we just wanted to make it simple. We wanted to let people try it because we believe if you try Merlin, there's a high probability, as we heard a few people come up and speak today, that it's going to make your life simpler. It's going to improve your life. And that's what we're trying to do here, is to improve lives and make it simpler, make it better. And I'm hoping that's what we can do.
And I just want to remind people, we are talking about Merlin, the smartest way to track your crypto. And if you're looking to learn more, head over to www.merlincrypto.com. 30-day free trial, and it's only 2 clicks to cancel the application. We're not playing any games over here, as Johnny Crypto likes to say. But Quincy, I'd like to actually, Jeremy, do you have any thoughts here? We're over 2 hours. Do you want me to continue the show, or it's up to you, my friend?
Yeah, no, I know that we brought up, I think it's Crypto in My Veins. Crypto in My Veins, I'd love for you to join the conversation or to ask your question. So you go ahead and unmute your mic and ask away. But then after that, if some other people have some questions, I'd love to hear their thoughts. And then after that, I think we should be good.
Sounds good. Thank you, Jeremy. So floor is yours, Crypto in My Veins.
Hey, guys. How you doing tonight?
Good. How about you?
Pretty good. Hey, Merlin. One thing that I think would be an amazing feature that I've never seen anywhere is like a sell all button where, like for NFTs, if you feel like it's at the top of the market and, instead of having to sell each one individually, taking a tremendous amount of time, like if you feel like that actual peak of the market, you can hit that sell all button. You could have like a smart contract set up where you hit the sell all button and it'll pull up all your NFTs and you can take off whichever ones you don't want to be on there as like a last minute, this is your last chance. Is there any on this list you don't want to sell, or same thing with your cryptos? Are there any of you want to sell? And then you hit the sell all button and you have like a smart contract that would automatically go to whatever exchange your crypto's on, since it's linked, and create that sell for you instantly, so you don't have to go through all that work on all your different exchanges, and just make it real fast and simple.
Yeah. So
real quick, if you saw us all laughing, Crypto in My Veins, it's because the concept itself is something that Johnny's actually talked about many, many times, and I'm going to allow him to answer because I think you'll like what he has to say.
Thank you.
Yeah. So Abs, I'm getting nervous that my phone must be tapped because Crypto in My Veins, you actually, yes, that is something that's on our roadmap. We've talked about that many, many times. In fact, the idea comes from when we were in the last bull run. I'm sitting in front of my computer one night and I'm saying to myself, I'm like, geez, if I had a sell half button right now and I could click this button, I would sell half my portfolio right now. But what I didn't want to do was go through and sell 37 coins one by one, right? And so, yes, I can tell you that is on our roadmap. I am worried that people are tapping my phone. I don't know how you do that, but it's a great suggestion. Yes, it is something that is on our roadmap. It's something we will build in. Now, we will have limitations because we can only, because we're not an exchange and we're just an app. We're just an aggregator. All we can do is sell, through whatever API permissions we have. So if the API gives us the permission to sell your coins, then yes, we will have a function that will allow that, but we'll only be able to sell whatever the APIs allow us to do. But I can tell you that's a wonderful idea. I love that idea, and I can tell you it is on our roadmap.
And just because I love sneak peeks, just a little sneak peek, we are a crypto aggregator as of right now.
Thanks, guys.
So whatever you want to do with that.
Well, but that will change in the future. There's a little hint.
So
we have a lot of exciting.
We have lots of plans, so that's one of the great things about being a part of these spaces and being a part of our ecosystem. Whether it's following us on YouTube, like Abs alluded to, that we're going to have a great 5-part mini series about getting up and running with Merlin, and you can also join us on LinkedIn at Merlin. You can join us on Threads, Instagram, and obviously here on X. But one of the other great things is 3T Warrior Academy is very heavily involved with Blockheads, the company that's bringing you Merlin and has built Merlin, and 3T Warrior Academy has an amazing show called Good Morning Crypto, and they talk a lot about these things too. So as long as you're in our ecosystem and on our newsletter, you'll know about all the great things that we have coming out, because as Johnny said, innovation is the lifeblood, and we're very adamant on moving this company into the future and being a part of crypto in the future.
Yeah, guys, if you're not on our newsletter, make sure you sign up for that. And as Jeremy said, we'll be communicating those kinds of changes. And also in Merlin, if you're a Merlin member, we will always communicate through our help center. You'll get a pop-up telling you when we've added something new, like we've added Gemini, we've added Uphold. As we add those exchanges, and if there's any other exchanges you guys want that we don't have, and we're already working on crypto.com right now, as we continue to add more, please let us know those kinds of things so we can continue to improve Merlin so it does what you need it to do.
Awesome, guys. And I see we got Rebel XRP base up here as well. Floor's yours, my friend.
Hello, welcome. Nice to meet all of you, Merlin team and speakers. I am new to Merlin. I currently use CoinStats, but I wanted to ask. I could not find Merlin app on the iPhone. Are you guys only on Android, or am I just looking correctly for this Merlin app?
So Johnny, I'm gonna kick it to you.
Yeah, so right now, Merlin is not a mobile app.
Okay.
We are what's called a web app. We're a web app. So you can find us. You don't need to go to the phone store.
Okay.
That's the beautiful thing. Just go to, if you're on iPhone, go to Safari. If you're on Android, go to Google. Just type in the browser, www.merlincrypto.com. Boom, sign up. And what we did is we kind of took it another step up. We said we're going to design Merlin as a web app, which means, but it's responsive. So it'll look like a phone app. It'll fit your phone perfectly. You won't have to, go scrolling to the right and the left, and the words won't be little and tiny. It'll look and feel just like an app. And we also, in our frequently asked questions, we show you how to save Merlin on your phone with a little icon. You just add it to your home screen, and boom, now it actually looks and feels like an app. And every time you want to go into Merlin, you don't have to go through the web browser. You just click the icon that you save on your front page of your phone or your tablet, and boom, it's literally, it feels and works just like an app.
Okay, I appreciate. Yeah, it was driving me nuts. I couldn't find it, so I was thinking, am I doing something wrong? So okay, so one more question. How is Merlin? I mean, I'm hearing glorious things about Merlin, and it's quite interesting. How is it? How does it? Can't even find the word. What makes it a superior product than CoinStats and also CoinMarketCap tracking?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, like both of those places will allow you to track your crypto. And if that's all you're looking to do, then that's cool, and you can do that there. What we've done differently is we've kicked it up a notch, and we've added in and we've married it to an exit plan.
Okay.
So you can actually create exit targets in each one of your individual coins. And then we've built in special alerts, 2 alerts. So you'll get an alert before your targets hit, and then you'll actually get, with about 5 to 10% away. And then you'll get another alert when your targets actually hit, because we know how fast these markets can move, especially in a bull run. And so we didn't want people to miss it. So we're like, hey, your target's getting close. And then you'll get a second one that says, hey, we just hit your target. You got to go sell. And in the future, where possible, if the API allows, we'll probably do an auto sell for you automatically. So you won't even have to. So that's how we're different right now. And then secondly, we've built in, I don't know if you just heard the conversation I had with Quincy, we built in a bunch of tools so that when your coin portfolio looks incorrect or the wrong coin comes in through the API or your cost basis is off, we've built all the editing function tools in the Merlin so you can edit any coin, so you can get your portfolio, 100% spot on, because none of these crypto tracker apps are perfect. Trust me, I've used them all. They all have flaws, but we did our best to try and fix all those kinds of things. So, I mean, and we don't cost that much more than CoinStats. We're slightly more, but it's because of all the value we bring with the exit strategy and the other things and the other tools that we have coming in the future as well.
Great.
And Rebel XRP, I'll let you ask your question. I just want to have a question. Where did you first learn about hearing from Merlin? We always want to make sure that we kind of know that too, because if it was from an influencer or from being on the space here.
Yeah, Coach JV. I watch his channels and
So I will let you on a little secret that Johnny alluded to a little earlier. If you weren't part of that, if you do have an influencer, and Coach CJB, the 3-2 Warrior Academy is is very heavily involved with the creation and distribution of Merlin. But my point is that the great thing about it too that Johnny alluded to earlier, we don't want to give all of the secrets away or our roadmap away, is but we will, if you do have an influencer, make sure that you stay up to date, because we will be having something really interesting happening with exit targets and how it relates to Merlin and how it might relate to some of your favorite crypto educators in the space. So I do want to add that as well.
Awesome.
Thank you, Jeremy. And I just want to give a quick reminder, guys. I want to give a shout out to Mario, aka the Merlin account for this Spaces. If you're looking to learn more about Merlin, the link is posted at the top of the Spaces. Just click on the link, go to the website. If you're really interested, try the 30 days for free. There's absolutely no reason not to do so. But Gonzo, I see you got your hand raised, and then we'll continue.
Yeah, I just wanted to add, like, on top of what Johnny was saying, as far as those edit features, because like when you get information with the API keys, it gives you everything. So like, if, depending on how many different cryptos you have, you could have a lot of dust. And for me, like, I don't know, maybe I'm a bit OCD. And so it's a lot of clutter of coins that I just have dust of that I don't really want to pay attention to. So with Merlin, I'm able to X those out or kind of mute them so that you don't see them. And like he was saying, if the data comes in bad, or maybe you've made all these different buys and you just want to clean it up and just do one average price so it's easier to track, you can go in and modify all of that. So that is a very, very, very big feature about Merlin that I absolutely love, and that I think is a game changer.
And guys, it may sound overwhelming. We're talking about all these different features, but the simplicity of the application is my favorite thing. Anybody can use Merlin. I've signed every single one of my family members up. My parents use it. They're not tech savvy. If they can figure out how to use Merlin, anybody can. So don't be overwhelmed. And like Jeremy said, customer service, we have designated hours. They will respond to you. But we've got a lot of questions up here. So Rebel, I'm going to kick it back to you because I believe you had one more question, and then we got Andrew coming up as well.
You pretty much answered all my questions, and I appreciate the comments from the other speakers. You pretty much, you actually covered more than what I expected. So I just want to say thank you.
Awesome. Shout out to Johnny
Absolutely.
Crypto.
Thank you, Rebel. Appreciate you.
You got it. And I'll definitely be trying. I don't want to say an app because it's not an app, but I will definitely be trying this software. So I'll be keeping an eye out for any updates on Coach JV's channel.
Yeah, please do that. Coach JV is a co-founder of this app as well. We love him in the 3T Academy, and so proud to be able to do this together and bring this to you guys. And hey, you never know. If you have a trouble, you may get a phone call from Johnny Crypto. So if you see somebody saying it's Johnny Crypto, trust me, it is. Pick up. We'll be happy to help you.
Awesome, guys. And we got another guest speaker up here. Andrew, the floor is yours.
Hi. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being here.
I first heard about you guys from Coach JV. And I just wanted to say I had an idea. Maybe, I don't know if this is possible to have on your app, but I thought it would be pretty cool if you're able to like have like some type of like alarm, so that like if any crypto that you guys are invested in, it would go off like when you see it reach its all-time high.
Johnny Crypto, floor is yours. I believe we have something pretty similar to that. So,
yeah, I mean, right now we have text alerts. I actually have heard that feedback before of people asking for something like that. We'll look into that and see if that's possible, that we can tie into your alarm and maybe send I guess you're asking if it were to happen in the morning and you're sleeping, but the reality, yeah, I assume that's what you're asking
Something
for.
like that,
am I correct?
like a super loud alert, because like sometimes notifications might be like too quiet.
Yeah. Well, how about this? How about instead if we just automatically sold when we hit your target? How would that work for you?
That works. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of the plan of where we're looking towards, to solve that whole problem, so you don't even have to worry about missing the alert. But step one, I tell everybody, I tell Abs this all the time. I said this first version of Merlin is going to be our worst version of Merlin, and what I mean by that is, like with any kind of software, right? The very first iteration is always the one that has the least amount of, as you develop over time, it gets better and better, right? And Merlin will just get better and better. And even though I say it's our worst version, it's still, I think, a pretty damn good version, but it's only going to get better. And we'll add things like that, either ways to alert you or make sure there's a louder way to hear it, or to auto sell, things like that. So all of that stuff, I love this kind of feedback. Please share that with us, because we do consider everything you say. People say, we do look to see, if it's something that people want, we will add it to our roadmap, and we will find a way to get it baked in at some point in time. So thank you for your feedback. I much appreciate that.
All right. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming up here, Andrew. And Crypto in my veins, did you have another comment?
Yeah, if I could, I just wanted to add on to what he was saying. A crypto alarm clock is a great idea. I've actually thought of that myself, and nobody has anything like that. But a good reason why you'd want to have one is someone who maybe is not maybe day trading, but maybe you know trading over weeks, a couple weeks or days at a time, and you're waiting for a move you think is coming, but you don't quite know exactly when, and then it happens in the middle of the night, which is when big moves usually happen, it seems like. And so, like if you're swing trading or day trading, or even a little longer, you can maybe catch a move in the middle of the night, and then you can be like, oh, okay, this is the move I've been waiting for, and then you can make your sell. And I understand that you can set your limits and what your trades want to be, but sometimes sometimes a trade like you're expecting Bitcoin to get to a certain number, okay? But if Bitcoin gets that number much faster than the cycle is showing, then maybe it's going to go much higher, and that number isn't where you want to sell. And if you have something set up in that way, it could be bad for you. You hit your mark, yeah, that's great. But if the time frame isn't quite right, then it's going much higher, and then you have a missed opportunity because you sold too early, unless you're planning on getting right back in. But like the time period for me is Halloween, first week of November, 2025. So when it gets close to that time period, that's when I'm going to be thinking about starting to leverage or get out of my positions a little at a time. But I'm going to start when I get closer. So it's hard to say, what that mark's going to be. So if you have alarms that you can set that screams at you and wakes you up, then you can make your moves, certain moves at least, from that aspect.
Yeah, well, thank you for that feedback. That is certainly something, like I said, several people have asked for that. And I think the way you described it makes total sense of why it makes sense to have something like that. And we'll look at it, and we'll see if, what it would take to do something like that, to be able to tie into the phone's alarm system and be able to see if we can, or create something where we can, I guess what you're asking for is a sound, right? Rather than just a text alert, a silent alert. You really want some kind of sound alert. So, all right, we'll make a note of that. Thank you for sharing that, and we'll see what it'll take to do something like that in the future. That's awesome feedback. Thank you very much.
And guys, there's one other thing I'd like to mention. First of all, we got somebody in here that I want to give a shout out to. It's Flip the Chain on Twitter. This guy's been putting out, or girl has been putting out phenomenal content. So shout out to that account. If you're looking for relevant crypto information, Flip the Chain. I don't even know who it is, but I've been seeing you and you do amazing work, my friend. The second thing, Johnny, is I think that's the value of the exit plan, right? What Crypto in My Veins was explaining is if you create an exit plan and you decide to change what you're doing, you kind of lose the value of the exit plan. I think it's a good time to elaborate on that. The way that I've structured my plan in particular is I'm keeping a certain amount of my portfolio regardless of what price targets are hit. And I think that's one of the ways you can deleverage yourself. It's a risky type of situation. Do you understand what I'm getting at here, Johnny?
Oh, yeah, 100%. And that's the whole point of why you don't have a single exit target. That's the reason why I have multiple exit targets for my coins when I create them abs, because if one does hit, and based on what, if what Crypto in My Veins was just talking about, well, it might hit earlier than you want. Well, the thing is, you're right, that could happen. But the way I look at it, for me, because I'm not a day trader, I'm more of a long-term hodler trader, for me, it's okay, because I know I'm going to make a profit at my first target anyway. And then I could always adjust my second and my third to go a little higher because they're going to be higher to start with anyway, right? So that's the advantage of building a ladder out, as Coach calls it, a ladder out exit plan, meaning you're laddering out on the way up. You look at what you think the price can do, and you're setting targets, maybe target 1, target 2, target 3, and target 4, always one above the other. So they're way higher up. And I don't expect abs, to be honest with you. When I make a 4-step or a 5-step exit target, I'm not expecting all 5 to hit. If they do, that's great. I'm just happy if the first 2 or 3 hit and I get out. The other 2 are like gravy, right? But the nice thing is if you do, if the price changes and things happen earlier and the price can go higher, well, you know what? I've got a couple extra targets way up there that I'm happy if it gets hit. And that's how I build it, because at the end of the day, no matter how you decide to play this game, okay, when you invest in space, you got to be able to sleep good at night. And that's what, for me, having exit targets in place now helps me sleep good at night, because I know I'm protected. I know I'm going to get an alert when my targets are hit. And I know I'm at least going to have a notification that it's time to do something. Now, obviously, if it happens in the middle of the night, yeah, okay, you're right. I may wake up in the morning. I may have missed a target. But as much as they move fast, they typically, yes, and you can move a little bit, but for the most part, you're probably still going to be able to take some of those gains.
Jeremy, the floor is yours. Johnny, and there's just one other thing I'd like to reference about the exit strategy is what I was trying to say is there's a lot of anxiety when you're selling your coins, right? Even when you're making money, there's this feeling inside of your stomach when you're about to hit the sell button that's telling you we're going up 10%, we're going up 20%. And the way I've been able to reduce that anxiety is by creating an exit plan that keeps me in the market even after I hit my targets. For me, and you can do any number you'd like, but 80-20 is very good. 65-35 is another exit strategy. Keeping a certain amount of your tokens that you decide, I'm putting these aside until 2030, 2035, it removes the anxiety while I'm taking profits because I know if this token goes up to $2 or well beyond my exit targets, I'm still going to have some skin in the game. And that kind of helps. And that's what I was trying to explain there. So just to clear it up. But Jeremy,
No, you're 100% spot on. When people build an exit plan, I think maybe we haven't spoken enough about it. An exit plan doesn't mean you're selling 100% of your coins. An exit plan means I might sell in this particular coin. I may try to sell 60% at these next 4 price targets and hold 35 for the next 10 years. Right? I'm bringing something with me. I'm not ever making the mistake I made with Amazon where I sold it all back in 1997, 99. I'm not doing that again. So the point is, you're right, Abs. The whole idea of an exit strategy is to set some of your coins up for sale during the next bull run and capture some of those high prices that are coming, and then bring some of them with me to the future to capture the even higher prices that are going to come 5-10 years from now when utility kicks in. If you remember, like on Good Morning Crypto, if you watch our show, we show you the Amazon chart. You could have made a big chunk of money in 2000, and then you would have had to wait to 2010 to get the same prices we saw in 2000. You're waiting 10 years later for it, right? So the whole point of an exit strategy is you get to capitalize on some of that early and take some of that with you for way later in the game when the prices, start to go to those speculative levers or even higher when we're in the utility phase 10 to 20 years later. I hope that helps clarify.
All right. Thank you so much, Johnny. And real quick, I just want to let everybody know, one of the main reasons why we've been talking about this 1-click or 2-click cancel, we wanted to make it super easy to cancel for you because one of the things that frustrated myself and Johnny is when you sign up for something or you're going through a free trial and you put in a credit card, you're not able to cancel it when you want and make it easy. So we made it super easy. So when you go and you set up for your 30-day free trial, we are going to ask for a credit card, but that's okay because you're able to cancel really, really easily, 1. And then 2, we have an amazing customer support team led by our good friend Mario, Coach Jackie, and NFT Tones. And because of that, you're able to reach out to them. They will help you get it canceled. They will walk you through it if they need to, because we want to make it easy for you as well. So don't worry. Don't be afraid of putting your credit card number in. We're going to make it easy for you to get out if you want, and you will get that 30-day free trial as well. And Abs, we have 2 more people. I think we can get their questions in, get those answered, and then we can move to close this Spaces out, which it has been amazing.
Absolutely, guys. I mean, I got the stamina. If we want to keep it going, we can keep it going. And also, Quincy, I see that you're still here, so I want to give you a chance to ask a question as well. But Lukey, let's start with you. I just saw you sent me and Johnny stating Telegram has a text message alert service and maybe a subscription your users could sign up for automated sell calls. So if it's related to that, please fill us in.
Yeah, hey guys, I'm just over in Australia. I've been sort of working, so I haven't had to chime in. I threw a couple of questions in there, but I just got a quick 5 minutes, so I thought I'd jump up and congratulate you. I've been following the 3T Warriors since probably over 12 to 15 months now. I'll be honest and transparent in saying I probably don't watch a lot of Coach JV anymore, but that doesn't mean I love him. It's just, I suppose you go on a journey. But one question I have for other Aussies like myself, is there any lack of functionality for us, and can we take full advantage of the platform? That's really the main question I wanted to ask. And then second of all, I just hearing that discussion around how do we get notified? I don't think anybody else is doing this, but I think it'd be quite hard to link into people's phone alarm systems. But you can absolutely 100% have a automated phone cell service where your phone physically rings, and that's something you could probably offer as a service on its own. Potentially would cost more because naturally, telephone calls aren't, always free, but that's a good way to solve that problem. And then you just get a bot talking the other line going, hey, wake up, you need to sell.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. We'll investigate that, and we've got a really good tech team, and we'll figure out, what those potential options are. And like you said, I'm sure there's a cost to it, but we'll figure all that out when the time comes and look at that to figure out how do we create some type of sound alarm as well, as several people have certainly asked for that. In terms of your original question about Aussies, so right now Merlin works in the U.S. and Canada only. We are working to add on other countries. And God, one of the biggest ones we get asked is Australia. I was surprised. I wasn't sure which country would be the next after Canada, but Australia is a big one. We're getting a lot of people from there asking us for access. So Jeremy and I will be working on that and trying to figure out what we got to do to be legal so we can do it, open up to the Aussie market. But right now you have to have. I will give you this though. I will say this. Here's a hint for you. All you need for Merlin to work, and right now Merlin is only in dollar denominations, so it only shows up in the dollar. So that's partly why we don't have it globally yet. We work to add other currencies. But if you have a valid U.S. or Canadian cell phone number for our validation process to sign up, that's all you need for it to work. So I'll leave you with that hint, and if that works for you, you can go ahead and try it out. If you've got a friend or a family member that has a U.S. number, then you should be able to at least get access and try it out and see if you like it.
Hope that answers your question, Lukey. I'd like to give you a chance to respond, and then we'll move on. Or we can just keep it moving, because we got another question up. We got somebody else who's raising their hand here, and it's Crypto Queen. Crypto Queen, floor is yours.
Hey, how you going, Abs, Johnny, Jeremy? I'm also in Australia, so I was interested to hear if that was going to work in Australia. So I got my answer there, thanks. But I have another question for you, which is not quite related to Merlin. But I know in the Good Morning show, because I listen to that.
Thank you.
And I'm also on the Discord with 3T Warrior, and so connected in there. Jeremy, I did think when you sent me a DM that you were not who you were. Anyway, I just wanted to point out that you've been using some content off X and not giving credit. So can you be careful about how you go about that, please, on your Good Morning show? Because I know that you've used someone's content and they're not particularly happy about that. And if you want to DM me and have a conversation about that, because I've got the receipts on it, I would like to have a conversation with you about it. Thanks, that's all.
Oh, that took an interesting turn. This is, well, I take full responsibility for that. None of it's intentional, but we don't actually profit for the copyright purposes, so we don't actually gain any revenue from our YouTube. We do the best that we can to politely respect everyone else's content, but I've never run a technical issue like that before, so I can say it was an honest mistake, and my condolences, but we don't profit, so that's kind of where I'd like to leave it.
Yeah, no,
Johnny Crypto,
no worries, Abs. I just thought I would ask the question. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Crypto Queen, and I appreciate that. Quincy, do you have any other questions for Johnny?
Yeah, actually, I do. Now, you guys are tracking cryptos. I did want to ask, in the future, were you guys going to start tracking like NFTs or even other tokenized assets on chain? As we all know, we talk about tokenizing everything and all of that, but there's also being able to track it as well. I didn't know if that was sort of in the books or the agenda for you guys, or even just sort of an idea in the air, just beyond tracking all the other assets on top.
Boy, Chris, you're gonna have to give it away our whole roadmap. I'll just say this: it's on the road. Yes, it's on the roadmap. We we have that on there too, and actually even beyond that. But I'm gonna keep some of that other stuff private. However, I did want to connect with you. As we are looking for partner in this space. If that's something you're interested in, reach out to me and let's talk about, us and Merlin working together, and then we'll be able to share the full roadmap with you and everything as well. Yes, that is on our roadmap.
Yeah, let's talk. I figured as much. I'm like, you can track the tokens, but
it's a natural adjacency, right? It's just a natural adjacency, and then you can, I'm sure, if you start going from there, you can already start thinking of other natural adjacencies that we can add to it. But I'll talk to you more off the air on that, and we can
appreciate it. Now, I do have another question.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys seem very consumer based now. Have you guys ever considered sort of having different classes or different licenses, like an enterprise license, or whether this is sort of going at scale, or whether this is sort of having a more robust analysis or accurate, or have you ever thought of anything like that?
Yeah, it's a great question. I'm glad you brought that up. And in fact, there were a few other folks helping us to try and get us into that institutional space, if you will, or enterprise space. Right now, because of the limited resources we have, we made a conscientious decision to make this consumer-based, consumer-focused first, to go after retail mass and help the retail space. As we know, there's going to be a ton of people coming in here, and we want to make sure we can help protect them first. So that's goal one. And then, yes, goal two would be at some point, you talked about what's the company going to look like? Well, to get to $1 billion, we're definitely going to have to expand our reach, and it will be probably outside of mass retail as well, and including some of the things you're talking about. So yeah, if you got ideas or connections you can help for us to do that, please let me know, because that is another thing that's on our roadmap.
I do have ideas, and I do have connections. We will
Sweet.
be speaking later.
All right, let's talk, my man. Let's talk. I was going to reach out to you soon because I want to get you to come back on Good Morning Crypto anyway. So I'll be sending you a
Oh, I'd
DM.
love
So
to.
we're going to get you on. We want to get you on this month. So I'm going to reach out to you for a time on that. And then you and I can talk a little later about this other stuff.
Now, I do have one more question.
Yes,
Okay.
Sure.
So, so I guess I would say with you being a consumer-based application, kind of goes back to that millionth user question. Like, what do you guys, not sort of like your roadmap, but like what would be sort of like your goals in terms of like sort of like promoting and getting yourselves out there to be like a prominent contender in the world of crypto. Obviously, you guys have your show and the YouTube channel, and that's super cool. But like, am I going to be seeing you guys at little events like Mainnet and Consensus?
Yeah, so I think Jeremy, if I don't know if Jeremy's here, because I know we talked about that. Oh, he's raised his hand. I'm going to defer to Jeremy because I know that is on the plan.
Yeah, so absolutely, Quincy. So we have a pretty aggressive marketing plan in place. We have a marketing person that I own I own another business with, but then we have him help us with 3T Warrior Academy, and he's been my right-hand marketing person for a while. And so we're going to be working with him aggressively for two things: one, social media strategy, and then user-generated content strategy. But then apart from that too, because we have to get a lot of impressions, and for people that don't know what that means, whenever I say impression, it just means we need a lot of eyes seeing us many, many times. And so it's not just enough to have them see us through ads that are coming through. That's why the user-generated content is important. But we are working on this latter half of the year, now that we are live, to build kind of an agreement or build a pathway of the conferences that we want to be at to showcase Merlin. And we know that traditionally with the showcases, you don't get a lot of buy-ins right then and there for the product. But the reason why that it's important is because, like I said before, it's about impressions. And one of the things that Johnny had mentioned earlier in the podcast or in the spaces was that my number one goal for marketing is ubiquitousness, and that ubiquitousness means that we have to be everywhere, wherever anybody turns, one, and then two, we need to make sure we need to make the ubiquitousness piece, and then we need to make sure people can see how the app actually works when we're doing that, so that they feel that it provides that value. And so being in those conferences and showing that is part of that overall strategy. So we will be going out and presenting it kind of like we did at XRP Vegas, and that we did at the Freedom Conference. And I will say this: one of the biggest things that we do want to do is, because 3T Warrior Academy, which myself and the team and CJV are founders and owners essentially of Blockheads, which brings you Merlin, is that we will be doing a lot of great stuff at our 3T Warrior Academy Freedom Conference. So if you want to see new and upcoming roadmap stuff and try stuff out, make sure that you're part of that Freedom Conference. But then we will be going to some of the other conferences in more of the crypto space and the blockchain space to be showing the new things that are coming and currently where it's at. The other thing that we will be doing too is that our head of customer support is behind the actual Merlin emblem there, Mario and Abs and myself will be working on a strategy where we're doing more lives on YouTube and or on Twitch, so that people can see it, ask questions, they can learn how to use it, because getting every single person on here comfortable with the app and making sure that we're available to them is again of utmost importance, especially if we're going to change Merlin from the King Arthur's Wizard to Merlin, the crypto app, or the smartest way to track your crypto.
That is absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. And I just want to ask one question, because I think this might be the case. Is your conference actually in Phoenix?
Yep. So very, very close. It's in a city called Mesa. So I'm located in
Mesa. Yes, I'm even closer, even better. I just wanted to know, because I'm like, wait a second, I actually might just hop on down over there.
Yeah, come and hang out with us. Anytime you're in Mesa, come in. We have our fitness center, which is about 2,500 square feet. And then we have our conference center and our offices, which is another 5,000 or 6,000 square feet. In total, it's about 8,500, 9,000 square feet, our facility that's in Mesa, Arizona. So yeah, come and pop in, and we'll do a workout too. And then when you're there come and see us for the Freedom Conference. We would love to have you, Quincy.
I'm literally probably within 10 miles of you guys. Like, how You know what? I might pop in. We'll get some information after the fact. That is so amazing. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna pop in. That's hilarious.
That is so awesome. That is so awesome. Yeah. Reach out to me or email Jackie and she'll get you my email or whatever the case is, or however you want to do that. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. I just think it's just a fun. Like, how am I gonna get like what the heck? Like, yeah, right now I knew you guys were in Phoenix somewhere. I just didn't know where. Mesa, Phoenix area. But oh my gosh. Anywho, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, you guys have me so psyched. Everything you guys are doing have me so psyched. Love it.
That's awesome, Quincy. Abs, are
Sorry,
you talking
thank
and
you
I
so
can't
much,
hear you?
guys.
Or
I didn't know if you had any additional questions there, Quincy, but we've
No,
been
no,
on
I'm
for
good.
we've been on for almost 3 hours. This thing started at 8:30. It is approaching 11:30, guys. So first of all, thank you to every single person who's been with us this whole time. Thank you to Quincy. We had Tony Edwards stop by. We had Jenna X here. We had Coach JV here. So thank you to every single person who's been here during this entire Spaces. And Jeremy, I'd like to give you a chance to close it out. I don't know if Johnny has any closing comments, and then we'll bring it home.
Yeah, if I can just say before Jeremy wraps it up, I just want to say thank you to everybody tonight for contributing. Thank you to the whole Merlin and 3T team and everybody behind the scenes. You've all been crucial to being able to get Merlin in the hands of the people. You've all done it. So you should all pat yourselves on the back of your hand. And thank you to everybody for coming up tonight and sharing your experiences, guys. We love hearing that. So as we continue to do these Merlin Spaces, if you're listening right now and you're on the fence, so you should come up, please raise your hand. Come on up. We want to hear what you have to say. We want to hear your experience. Even if it's just to tell us, what you felt when you first got your Merlin, you first got to see all your coins in one place. I just love to hear that kind of feedback. So please share that with us in the future. But we love you guys. We appreciate you. Thank you for giving us a chance to try out Merlin for free, guys. Really appreciate that. Thank you, guys.
Jeremy,
all right.
to you.
Wait, Abs, did you say you're kicking it to me? I was just closing us out. All right, perfect. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for joining us for this special episode of Merlin. We will be back with you in 2 weeks, and we will get that content up to you so you can see what we're going to be talking about and who our guest speakers are going to be. Again, my name is Jeremy Quintanilla. I am the Chief Finance and Operation Officer for Merlin and one of the co-founders. You can find me on all social media platforms at Age of Jeremy. Your host this evening was none other than the amazing Abs, Merlin Senior Engagement Officer, and also the host of the Good Morning Crypto Show. The Good Morning Crypto Show comes to you Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern from the 3T Warrior Academy YouTube page. You can follow Abs right here on X at 3TGM Crypto. I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. Jenna X, CJV, and your boy Quincy. I'm super, super excited to learn that you actually live near us, so we will be definitely having to meet up more often and soon. So I'm really excited for everything. Make sure that you head on over to merlincrypto.com, get your free 30-day trial. And remember, you do have to put a credit card in to get that free 30-day trial. But as Johnny Crypto said, we made it super, super easy to cancel, and we have an amazing customer support team available to you so that you can get canceled if you need to, but you probably won't, because Merlin is, again, the smartest and the best way to track your crypto. And with that, we will end this Spaces, and I appreciate each and every one of you, and we will see you next time.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you for tuning in to the Merlin Crypto Market Update located on the X app. I'm Abs, your host and Senior Engagement Officer at Merlin, and we hope you enjoyed this episode from our Merlin X Spaces. Remember, you can catch us live every other Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern on the X app at Get Merlin Crypto. If you want to take your crypto tracking to the next level, don't miss out on our free 30-day trial at merlincrypto.com. Thanks again for listening, and we'll catch you in the next episode.